Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Welcome back to Indianapolis. I'm Pam Oliver. Well, under 500 on the road so far this season. That's where the Tampa Bay Bucs find themselves, and they are desperate to change course on that today. Head coach Bruce Arians, well, he has no trouble pinpointing what he feels is the biggest struggles for the group, and that's turnovers and pre-snap penalties. Tampa's been guilty of 15 pre-snap penalties, the most in the NFL. As far as this game goes, Arians wants to see consistency. He wants to see energy. Bring the energy that we play with at home on the road. Cleaning up those penalties is critical, especially this time of year in a hostile environment. Kevin?
Yeah, Pam, I mean, the numbers are stark. I mean, their offensive and defensive numbers, certainly the penalties you mentioned away from home. And Frank Reich's Colts got off to an 0-3 start. They are playing ball now. They've won 3 in a row, 6-2 of their last 8, and really tuning it in. And right back in the mix in this playoff race. The Bucs come into today the 3rd seed in the NFC. Indy won the toss. They defer, and here we go from Indianapolis. Great to be with you as Darden will take it on out from the end zone and get out across the 20, and we will see Tom Brady, who continues to amaze at 44 years old. Well, what's he doing? How about the most pass yards per game in the league and the most touchdown passes in the league? It's not like he's just hanging around. He's leading the league in multiple categories for this #1 out.
And I know it's been said so many times. I just don't think you ever can stress enough just how hard it is to not only be in the league at his age, but to play at this level. It's truly incredible.
Start with a give to Leonard Fournette, who is going to work his way up across the 25. Going to get him 3 yards. For Tampa Bay on offense, there's a couple of inactive notables for you. First of all, on that offensive line, they've played together the entire year, not today. Ali Marpet, who's terrific at left guard, out. Aaron Stinney plays for him, and Antonio Brown has been out the last 5 games. Now make it 6 with that high ankle sprain, so he is inactive today too. Other than that, these teams are pretty healthy. On 2nd down, Brady on the fake all day over the middle, and it's nearly intercepted. Xavier Rhodes got his hands on it, brings up 3rd down. This Colts defense 13th in scoring. They've got a couple stalwarts like DeForest Buckner on the line, who's an all-pro. Darius Leonard, 3-time all-pro, one of the best in the league at linebacker. Third and 6. Blitz is coming. Brady sees it, and it's incomplete. Tried to get it to Mike Evans, but it was nowhere near him. And the Colts D forcing a 3-and-out early.
Yeah, I think Tom Brady's expecting Mike Evans to kind of pull up there. Typically, the rule is if I'm looking, I'm booking. But Mike Evans sees a defender out there. I think Tom Brady's expecting Mike to just sit down and throttle in that zone. He just keeps running. Big 3-and-out. We talked all week. How are they going to be able to maintain their identity on offense, being Indianapolis? A lot of it's going to fall on this defense, keeping Tampa Bay at bay. And so far, good start.
Short punt by Pinion, and there's a penalty flag as well. This didn't even get to midfield, but we have to see what the penalty is. It was a 4th and 6, which is critical to know, because even if it's a running into the punter penalty, it would still be 4th down. Let's see.
Holding. Kicking team number 97. 3-yard penalty will be added to the dead ball spot. First down.
Well, that's a heck of a start for Indianapolis. They'll get the ball in great field position after the penalty and the bad punt is Carson Wentz. First year in Indianapolis, and all he's done, Greg, is the 2nd best ratio in the league of 18 TDs to just 3 interceptions.
Yeah, and there was a lot of speculation about why did they bring Carson Wentz here from Philadelphia. Of course, we know the last few years there were a bit of a challenge. Frank Reich and Chris Ballard, this staff here in Indianapolis, They put a lot of his issues in the past, kept it in Philadelphia. They thought his supporting cast around him led to a lot of his struggles. They feel Frank Reich understands his quarterback. He understands to play to his strengths and support his weaknesses. And thus far, after the slow start, they seem to be right.
And look at where they start the drive. The short kick, they add on the holding penalty. They start at the Tampa Bay 30. Here is Wentz. Taylor's first carry left side, and there is not much there. So Taylor, the #1 rusher in the league against the #1 rush defense for Tampa Bay. And good news for the Bucs, that man, Vita Vea, who is a mountain of a human being, is back and one of the best run stuffers, all-around players in the league.
He is, and he has the reputation of being a run stuffer. But as Bruce Arians said, he goes, some guys can take on double teams. Vita Vea can win versus double teams. He says that's what separates him. We're so fortunate to have him back in the lineup, especially against this Colts run game.
Taylor again, up the middle, has a little hole, but that closed quickly. And he's going to get 3 yards there. Vea right around it, so is Devin White, who flies around the field. And now a 3rd down for Indianapolis, trying to take advantage of a 14-yard punt at a holding penalty right off the bat. And we talked about it, Greg, you did in the open. Again, the top rusher in the NFL in Taylor against the #1 rush D. And not just this year. Tampa Bay's had the #1 rush D for 2 years running.
Yeah, it's not by accident, right? It starts with personnel, starts with this Todd Bowles scheme. We're seeing best versus best today. I don't think either team's going to shy away from what's gotten them here.
He takes a break on 3rd and 6. Nyheim Hines in for him in the slot left. Wentz, time, looking, floating towards the corner, incomplete. Pittman out of his break was open, but the ball a little underthrown. And now it looks like a field goal try.
It seemed like Pittman kind of lost his balance coming out. You can see he's going to run a corner route. Kind of a shake 7, they call it. You're going to sell the post like you're running inside, and then you're going to stick your inside foot and break to the corner. It's a very hard route to run. Your footwork has to be really clean. There's a timing component to it. Carson Wentz thought he had him, but just losing his footing threw off the timing.
Now Michael Badgley, 9 for 9 as a Colt this year. 45-yarder, up and good. So Tampa Bay holds Indianapolis on the board, but I'm sure they felt like could have been more. Nonetheless, good start. Colts 3-0 here in the first. Well, Tom Brady's got a long history against the Colts, and Indy fans know it. 15-4 against him, including 4-1 in the postseason. It's the most playoff wins against any opponent in his career, as a matter of fact. And atop that, he's 8-0 against the Colts since 2010. Now in a different uniform, though. But still this Bucs #1 offense. And special teams are already a factor, right? Pinion had a 14-yard punt, and then Badgley hit a 45-yard field goal, so that's the early going, although Tampa Bay's defense held there, considering that the Colts started on their own 30. So this time Brady will get it again on his own 25. Offensive series #2 against this Colts D, and Darius Leonard, you already noticed in that first series doing some interesting looks.
Yeah, the narrative of this Colts defense was earlier in the year, until last week, right? They got their statement win, a marquee offense in Buffalo, a marquee quarterback in Josh Allen, and they put the clamps on them from the very get-go. They need another week like that to put to rest that they can't stop elite passing games, elite. They got a great chance today to do it back-to-back weeks, and this Colts defense is fired up about it.
On first down, Brady, a lot of time, and behind Gronkowski, incomplete. Odom was there near on the coverage.
Yeah, second time now. We saw it on the last 3rd down with Mike Evans. Just a little miscommunication. Not exactly on the same page between Brady and his target receiver. That time was Gronkowski. Gronk sits. He's expecting him to kind of fall out of this route. Well, just not early, just not quite in sync. Like you talked about, Bruce Arians said, for some reason on the road, it takes us a little while to find our energy and find our groove.
Brady 0 for 3 early, stands in there and delivers. That time it sails into the chest of Gronkowski, who backpedals across the 45 for a first down. 20 yards to Gronk.
We've seen them do this for a long time. Watch Darius Leonard follow Fournette out of the backfield, and it opens up that middle of the zone. That's pitch and catch for these two guys. We've seen it for a long time.
Four-man rush. Brady near sideline has a completion. And be close to a first down. Mike Evans hauls that one in. He's had a terrific year. 10 touchdowns, tied for the league lead with Cooper Kupp.
See him changing their tempo here. Sometimes when an offense is struggling, right? You see a couple incompletes, not finding the rhythm. The best thing you can do is go up tempo, get on the ball, and find your rhythm through the tempo of your system.
Fournette will get it on a 2nd and 1, and he's got the first down. Down to the 40 of Indianapolis. So after a 3 and out on the opening drive, they go up tempo, starting to find a little bit of that rhythm. And I'm curious why, Pam talked about why, especially in a year where the road teams have the best record they've ever had. It's interesting that Tampa Bay has struggled so much in that area. Continue with the pace. Brady looking, firing. Godwin. Oh, that was nearly intercepted. Rock Yassin made a break on it, and he might have scored.
He talked all week about how he feels like he's playing at such a high level. He's made such improvement from last year. He's waiting to get his hands on his first pick. He had a chance to get it off the greatest of all time, and he knows it. Rocky's seen, when you talk to the coaches and the word around the building, he's come so far. He had some struggles last year, a lot of penalties, kind of handsy. He's settling in.
2nd down, get it out to Fournette, and he is taken down immediately. Xavier Rhodes, really good tackle. Up from the secondary, up comes 3rd and long.
And you see kind of the hockey line change here, Kev. All these guys are running onto the field. They're bringing their pass rushers, front, down linemen, linebackers. Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator here in Indianapolis, his 3rd down blitz package and scheme is as good as anybody in the league. See what they dial up. So there's DeForest Buckner there. They're all pro D tackle lined up at nose.
Trying to get it to Godwin on a screen. Ball is loose. Who's going to get it? Looks like Indianapolis. Let's see. They will uncover it. Colts have the football. Darius Leonard forcing another turnover.
You talked about Darius Leonard. This is the weekly peanut punch, Kev. It feels like not a game goes by that we don't talk about a Darius Leonard. He can do a little bit of everything, and he's put his stamp on this game early.
Part of what makes the Colts so good, we talked about their run game, their offensive line. They are #1 in the NFL in forcing turnovers and #1 in scoring off them. 98 points off turnovers. Leonard forcing his 5th fumble on the year. He's a turnover machine. Sendejo recovered it. Now the Colts, 2 good defensive series. And now we'll see if there is movement or if Tampa Bay jumped. Shaq Barrett came across, see if he was baited or not. Shawn Smith, the ref.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 58. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You gotta wonder if somewhere Peanut Tillman's saying, I should have trademarked Peanut Punch. He'd be collecting royalties every time. It seems like every week on every broadcast somebody references that so famous in Chicago.
You know what? It works.
I'll tell you, it works. When I was a young player watching him do it in practice, the guys are looking around like, what are you doing? Everything was always strip the ball, strip the ball. Well, he has changed the way teams go after the football.
Pressure coming, picked up. Wentz now has time, but can't find anyone. Now he's taken down. It was picked up initially, but Shaq Barrett got home for the sack. Make it 6.5 on the year for him. We have our first game break of the day. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. Patriots looking to extend their 5-game win streak against the Titans. This helps Mac Jones. Next with Kendrick Bourne, 4-yard score. Pats up early, 7-0. Kevin?
Well, that win streak combined with the Patriots' #1 D in the league, it's a pretty good combination.
Best thing for a young quarterback is a great defense.
After the sack, 2nd down, 4-man rush. Wentz, far side. Jack Doyle's got the catch, but he's going to be wrestled down by Dean. A couple yards short of a first down.
Yep.
And now Dean is slow to get up. This Tampa Bay secondary has been besieged by injuries all year long. And I mean, they were playing their 6th and 7th cornerbacks. They signed Richard Sherman, who's now on IR. There's D. Delaney, who's gotten some time this year, number 30, and he's in right now. They get Shawn Murphy Bunting back last week, which is great. Carlton Davis, another starter, close to coming back. Now let's see what happened to Dean. Tough to see right there. They work on Jamel Dean. We'll take a break. 3-0 early from Indy. Dean being worked on the Tampa Bay sideline. Again, they've had so many injuries in the secondary this year. Just when they're starting to get healthy, now Dean, their nickelback, goes out. See, they're playing 3 safeties. He did a lot of that last week with Whitehead 33, Winfield 31, and Edwards 32. Did it against the Giants with the threat of Saquon Barkley, and Todd Bowles kind of hinted that we'd see it again, and we do see it right here on a 3rd and 2. On the fake, Wentz pressure throws, and it's nearly intercepted. Pittman, I don't think, was expecting it, and Minter had a chance to pick it off. It simply falls incomplete.
Yeah, and pre-snap, I was a little surprised that they threw it. It's only a 6-man box, meaning the Bucs only have 6 guys here, right? Typically, especially with this offense, that's a run look. They thought they could get him on the misdirection. I think if Pittman gets his head around, obviously, they convert it. But I'm a little surprised that they didn't keep the ball on the ground there in that 3rd and short situation, considering the look that Tampa gave him.
It's also a couple times trying to get it to Pittman, and they haven't been on the same page today, Wentz and Pittman. So Bucs D does their job after the turnover, remember. That'll bounce just across the 15, where Tampa Bay will take over for the 3rd time here this afternoon. Well, last week, Nate from Nebraska won $100,000 playing Fox Super 6. You have another chance to win today. Just scan the QR code now. Enter Fox Super 6's NFL Sunday Challenge for your free chance at $100,000. Three 0 Colts. 8:53 to go in the 1st quarter. And we have a new left guard. Nick Leverett is over on the left side. Remember, Aaron Stinney started because Marpet is out, and now it's Leverett in there. Not sure if there's an injury or not, as Fournette goes nowhere. And maybe Pam Oliver has some information on that and more. Pam, what do you got?
Well, Kevin, really an onslaught. Jamel Dean, first of all, the cornerback has a shoulder injury and is questionable. You mentioned Stinney. He has a knee injury and is questionable. Linebacker Devin White, he has a hip injury and is also questionable. So just an onslaught for Tampa, just like that.
That's a lot. You know, White wasn't on the field for that 3rd down. He had a quad injury coming in, and now Pam says a hip. All right, Pam, thanks. And now the Bucs on their 3rd left guard for a unit that has been together the entire year until today. 2nd down, Brady. Evans makes the catch, makes the cut, and then tackled rather quickly. Bobby Okereke, middle linebacker, brings up another 3rd down.
You made the point earlier that both teams felt so confident coming in. They were so healthy. Neither team really had to declare too many guys out. Here we are in the 1st quarter. Things in the NFL could change and happen fast. The next guy has to be ready to play. It's very cliche, but so they got a man tell there. Darius Leonard is just out guarding Fournette. That's just to get a declaration.
Pressure up the middle. They swing it to Fournette, and he is dragged down. Taylor Stallworth with a terrific play, and it forces 4th down.
And I'll tell you, if Stallworth doesn't make that play, it's out of the gate. So we mentioned the pre-snap shift of Fournette. This is a man tell. They want to run this versus man. They bring pressure. Nobody has Leonard Fournette, but Stallworth, the interior lineman, great job reading the play and tracking him down. This Colts defense, man, I'll tell you, they have come to play today. Going up against the #1 offense in the league.
Impressive start. What a play. And another punt. Pinion much better here on his effort on his 2nd punt of the day. Hines waiting. Makes a move. And another. And up across the 33 to the 34. And so this Colts defense against this #1 Tampa Bay offense saying, yeah, we see you. We got it for now. Jonathan Taylor, #1 in the NFL in so many categories. Rushing yards, scrimmage TDs. Well, he had 5 TDs and over 200 scrimmage yards last week against the Bills defense, which is terrific. I mean, it was a show. And you look at, you're talking about 200+ total yards and 5 TDs single game all time. He's the 4th to ever do it. And again, this was against a really good defense. They had been ranked #1 for a lot of the year. What will he do today? Slow start for both offenses. Here they swing it to him in the flat. And Taylor is upended there by David. Got some help too from Shawn Murphy-Bunting. You talked earlier about this Indy defense and helping the Colts run game, giving them a chance to kind of get going.
Yeah, the easy point to identify coming in is how does Tampa's defense stop Indy's offensive run game. But it's really Tampa's inability to get an early lead to force Indianapolis to play from behind. That's when things change.
Run game has been quiet, running into a wall there. It was Golston on the stop. As a new right guard is in Chris Reed, who they do rotate in sometimes for Mark Lewinsky on the right side.
But take a look. They got 5 down linemen, right? We've seen that on 1st and 2nd down, and the line stunts. One of the most effective things you can do against a run primary heavy team is those single D-line line stunts, right? Linemen can block stationary objects pretty easy, especially a line of this caliber. It's the moving parts of the D-line that can throw off the run fits of the offense.
Got 8 right on the line right now. Wentz looking, can't find a way off the hands of Pittman again. 0 for 3 when targeting Pittman today, and he was wide open, but they can't connect, and it brings up 4th down.
And against these soft zones that Tampa's playing, he's got guys that he can hit. You're going to see, watch, as Pittman clears Minters on the backside, he's wide open. Just take some steam off it, put it on his front side shoulder, and he turns up the sideline for the 1st down.
Which the Colts don't have any yet today in this 1st quarter after 3 offensive series. And so they'll punt it away again. Not a great kick. Darden's going to let it go. Maybe not. Bounces right to him. And he's tackled immediately. Well done. Ashton Doolin, the special teams maven for these Colts, was there on the hit. So a defensive battle so far. Colts D has been up to the task. Leonard forcing the fumble, being his all-pro self. 3-0 game in the 1st. Well, this is what Pam was talking about at the beginning of the game. And for whatever reason, Tampa Bay on the road is a different animal, and it's their whole team, right? You look at their offense and their defense. They're both marginally worse, or actually more than marginally. They're a lot worse on the road than at home. And so far today, their #1 offense has had a tough time against this Colts defense. 3-0 here in the 1st. Donald Jones in the game at tailback. It's his 1st carry today, and has a good run as he slithers across the 20 and out near the 23-yard line.
Last year I had a chance to play in Seattle, and one of the things I took from Pete Carroll and his approach, and to your point about playing on the road, they had a routine that before every game in the locker room they had a players' time. Everyone came together, and it was a way to connect. It was a way to reset the energy, whether it was home or away. No one was allowed to take the field until they felt each other's presence and think they were a very good road team. Certain teams have routines that allow them to find their energy and play well on the road.
So Matt Eberflus, defensive coordinator for the Colts in his 4th year. 2nd and 3. They'll try to run it to Jones to the other side, and he is swarmed. Indy was ready. Okereke was there and brings up another 3rd down. And this crowd is roaring today.
Okereke, Darius Leonard, look at the pursuit to the ball. Little inside line stunt, but now look at him, set the edge. And then your guys come to clean it up over the top. If you can get these running backs going side to side laterally, with the speed they have, Okereke and Leonard, it's not going to be a lot of space out there in yards to gain.
Got to get to the 27. Leonard coming on a blitz. Brady floats it, caught by, no, it's incomplete. Fournette had it, couldn't hang on. He wouldn't have had the 1st anyway. And another fine series by this Colts D. They force the 3 and out again.
We saw Kurke force the run on the previous play. Now he's matched up on an H choice with a really athletic back in Fournette. He's right in his hip pocket. Even if Fournette hangs on, I think he's short of the first down. What can you say about this? Matt Eberflus, this D coordinator, this Colts defense has given Tampa early in this game all they can handle.
And now it's can the Colts offense take some advantage of that. There's Pinion punting it away. Good kick. Hines has room from the 24. Left side, out across the 35. A good return for Nyheim Hines after a 55-yard punt. The Colts have really turned their season around. If you haven't watched them this year, and here's really the gist of it. First 3 games, well, they weren't doing very much well, to be honest. Then they started to pick it up. You see the points per game vastly different, and the run game behind this great offensive line, and Jonathan Taylor is turning into a star. And then Carson Wentz, look, he had the one bad game. He threw 2 bad picks against the Titans, which contributed certainly to their loss here. Other than that, he's been really good within the system.
And that guy right there, Frank Reich, when you talk to the players on this team, he's got to be the nicest man on the planet. I mean, the way these guys talk about him, you don't hear very often around the NFL.
It's Taylor on first down. There's not much there. So it's interesting when you have a #1 defense, even though the Colts are terrific at running the football with the best back in the league right now, I always wonder, do you test them or do you not?
Right, the coaching decision all the time is, do I play to my strengths or do I play away from my opponent's strengths? And I think that's what happens a lot with this Tampa defense. They're the #1 rush defense because they don't face a lot of rushing attempts.
Right.
Teams almost take the running game out of the game plan before the game even starts. I don't think Indianapolis can afford to do that today. Stay true to who you are, play to what you're good at.
Throw it here, and finally a connection there. The ball is loose. I think it's a fumble as David's got it. Levante David has recovered for Tampa Bay. Zach Pascal is the Colt who caught it and lost it, and the Bucs with a big turnover. Now let's see if he
Ball
caught it.
carrier, KB, the closer you get to the ground, the harder you squeeze. So often you see a guy going to brace for the ground, the impact of the tackle, and that ball just gets a little away. See Mike Edwards. It's a great catch. He finds the soft spot. But now watch as he's going to the ground. See that ball fall away? Mike Edwards comes in from behind and punches a loose ball. Seen critical errors so far on both teams.
Yeah, and David with the recovery, and now Tampa Bay in business. Brady dropping back, pumps, fires. Gronkowski's got it inside the 30, down to the 25, and pulling his way forward near a first down. He will have it.
When all else fails, Tom Brady looks around that field and he doesn't see a guy open. His eyes are going to find number 87. Right, he's going to see Gronk right here. Brady's trying to push this. Right after a turnover, you want to take a shot play. Look how deep Indianapolis is. All right, no, there's no shot. I'm taking it to number 87. Those guys have a historically good connection, and when he needs a safety valve, he knows where to look.
Brady, pressure coming, dumps it to Fournette inside the 20, and Fournette gets down to the 16-yard line. I thought we were talking to Bruce Arians, and you asked him about Rob Gronkowski, what makes him so great. He said, what makes him so great, and this is perfect, we'll have a play that doesn't work, it's busted, and nobody's open, and all of a sudden there's this big blank rumbling down the field, and we got 37 yards out of it. And that is so accurate, right?
It's so accurate. And when a quarterback and a receiver, in this case a tight end, have that sort of on-field rhythm, they have that time on task that they've spent together, sometimes you don't have to draw up the perfect play.
Here is Fournette. Good cut and some space. First down for Tampa Bay. And so trying to take advantage of the turnover by Indianapolis, and that'll move the chains. Fournette, and a ground game which quite honestly is non-existent to the normal fan, but you say otherwise.
Yeah, I think the element of their offense that you have to pay attention to is all the quick game, the screens. Sometimes it's a called run in the huddle, and Tom Brady says, no, I don't like this box count. I'm going to throw a quick smoke screen to Mike Evans, or I'm going to throw a slant to Chris Godwin. In their offense, those are run plays.
Blitz coming. There is that dump off. Brate's got it. Inside the 10 and down to the 5, exactly as you were talking about.
Yeah, so there you go, right? So, Cameron Brate's right here. He's going to set and he's going to block, and then he's going to be just a late delayed screen. He's going to let that guy pressure, give a target on first down. Those are as good as a successful run. So that goes in the playbook as a pass, but you find yourself 2nd and 3 off a little quick, a little easy pass. No different than if we turned it around and handed it off to Fournette.
They don't have to snap it, but if they do, probably the last play of the quarter.
Try to get him to jump off sides here.
And they won't, and that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. One which featured a lot of good defensive play, but now the Buccaneers down 3-0. Knocking on the doorstep. They've got a 2nd down and 3 from the 5. We come back with the 2nd. The defense so far here in Indianapolis, but here's the story. The Colts ran for 264 yards in the win against Buffalo last week. They've got 2 yards rushing through 1 quarter. I know it's only 1 quarter, but that's a big change, and that's something to keep your eye on as this game goes on. Meanwhile, the Patriots forced to fumble. Patriots. See Brady, it's a couple years ago. The Bucs forced a fumble, and now they're trying to cash in on the 5 with a 2nd down. Fournette streaking to the edge, cuts inside, and Fournette is going to be stopped short of a 1st down by Darius Leonard. Brings up 3rd and short.
Times like here, right? Tom Brady's looking. Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski. Those are his 2 big red zone threats. Big bodies, big targets. One traditionally in the middle of the field between the hashes and Gronkowski. Mike Evans outside the numbers, big body, back corners, back end line of the end zone.
Yeah, Evans is going to line up way to the left all by himself against Rhodes. 10 touchdowns for him, tied for 1st in the league. Instead, they give it to Fournette right up the gut, and he surges at 2nd effort. I think got it for him. Kind of forced his way through TJ Carey, and that should be a 1st and goal.
Yep. Now you have your whole new set of downs. You have your entire red zone package at your disposal. Let's see here. Initially, it looked like they had stopped him. I think his 2nd effort.
Right there, for sure.
They clearly got it. Really nice effort there by Fournette. But that's what I was saying. Now you find yourself 1st and goal, fresh set of downs on the 2. You can run it on 1st down. You can go hard play action. You have your entire playbook.
That Brady's going to run it forward, and he is going to be just short. 1 rushing touchdown of the year. And there's a penalty flag as well.
They're going to call, I think they're going to say targeting. I think someone hit Brady in the side of the head. Is at least where the flag. Get another look at it, but in real time, it looked like when Brady came out of the side. Maybe a late hit.
It's a late hit, yeah. Targeting, same idea. That's in college, but I know what you mean. Like that's, and the play's over, and Sendejo came in there.
There's fouls by each team on the play. Illegal shift. Offense. By rule, that penalty is discarded. We have a personal foul. Defense, number 42. After distance penalty, automatic 1st down.
The 15-yarder trumps the 5-yard penalty. That's why, if you're wondering at home, and obviously they can't move much closer. They're on the 1, but it'll give them a 1st and goal. With a lot of options here. Hand it off. Fournette walks in for the touchdown. And the Bucs capitalize on the turnover.
Watch the defensive line here. They late shift, and they open up this entire lane. Take a look. See the late shift? Now it makes it really easy for the left tackle, Donovan Smith, to reach his guy, and that's the off-tackle run. And we mentioned that D-line stunts, it can work for you and present some challenges on the offense, but at times it works against you. And that time they guessed wrong.
Suck up for the extra point, and it is up and good. So the way this Colts defense, they were playing so well, but the turnover, the fumble here forced against Pascal. David recovered, and they go down the field. and score it. Fournette into the end zone, and the Bucs have their first lead, and Brady likes that result. Go very far because of the turnover. Then Fournette finishes the drive, 1-yard run, his 5th rushing touchdown of the year, and Tampa with their first lead of the afternoon, 7-3 here early second quarter from Indianapolis. Glad to have you aboard. Our NFL on Fox crew, Pam Oliver down the sidelines, along with Greg Olson. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Red Hot Colts and the defending champs. And we'll see if Indianapolis can get their run game going. They have not yet today. Why has it worked so far this year?
Well, of course, having Jonathan Taylor helps, and it helps having one of the best offensive lines. But scheme matters. And I think their ability to run, you're going to see this is a traditional zone, but look at them getting to the second level. Clear running lanes for Jonathan Taylor. Now watch this double team. Mark Lewinsky and Braden Smith, the right guard and right tackle. This is the NFL now, Kev. Watch what they do to this guy. That's a downhill gap scheme, right? A different style run. And now this last one is really creative. The left guard, Quentin Nelson. The tight end in the wing, 84, Jack Doyle. Watch, we're going to get a trap. We're going to get a wham. Ooh. It's good runner, great offensive line, and a really, really good, diverse package of run offense. It's very hard to stop when they're playing at a high level.
Hasn't gotten going today, so they bring in a jumbo package this time, but they're still going to throw it. Get it to Taylor. Try to get him in space. Makes a man miss. And another. Taylor, boy, taking it on everyone from the Bucs. It took 3 to bring him down, but not before he picked up 7.
And I like that on first down, right? You know you're going to kind of bang your head into the guy. Let's get one of our best players, if not our best player, the ball in Jonathan Taylor. But let's do it in space, right? Sometimes those easy checkdowns to the backs on first and second down, it's more effective than just running it up the middle against what's a really good defense.
They stay in jumbo formation. Matt Pryor comes in. You talked about the Bucs having 5 linemen. That's their counter. On 2nd and 2, they will run it. And again, there's, well, not much, and then Taylor breaks through it somehow, and he's got a first down. Looked like that play was over, and Taylor kept on going, and he moves the chains. The first down of the day for Indy.
And this building just took a big, deep breath because there has been tough sledding. As you said, it looked like he was dead to rights. But I'll tell you something, just good backs. In his case, a great back. Being able to make something out of nothing. What did he tell us? His college coach says, this is why you're on scholarship, right? We can block everyone and run through open lanes. When he told us that story of his days in Wisconsin, I thought that's just a great way to put it. Sometimes you got to hand the ball off to a guy and say, you got to go be the man.
On the fake. Wentz with time. Loading up. Going deep. Has a man. And he's caught for the touchdown. Doolin's got it. His first NFL touchdown is a 62-yard bomb.
Ashton Doolin, they show press and they bail. He just nods out, and then he takes a big post. This ball needs to be caught, Kev, on the near side hash. Carson Wentz dropped it in the bucket. Exactly how you draw it up. He doesn't break stride. He couldn't have walked that ball out and put it in a better spot. It's a big-time answer following the Bucs touchdown for this Colts offense.
Boy, did they need that. How about that? Ashton Doolin, who leads the NFL in special teams tackles, by the way, didn't have an NFL touchdown until about a minute and a half ago. 62 yards from Carson Wentz, and the building comes alive. We got ourselves a game. 10-7. Colts over the Bucs.
That last touchdown to Ashton Doolin is set up because Winfield, the free safety in the middle of the field, he's put in a really tight spot. He's got a crossing route coming across. The second he gets flat and he drives, Carson Wentz's eyes light up. Doolin leans him out. This ball's told to be thrown 2 yards outside the near hash. That's about perfect. And remember, KB, that play doesn't exist if Jonathan Taylor doesn't run through that contact and convert that first down the play before. Sometimes the simplest plays have the biggest impact. And those last 2 plays sum that up really well.
And then how about this with Doolin? He's running down on special teams. I told you, he's the #1 special teams tackler in the league. He gets blocked here as Darden goes away from him, and he gets a good return out to the 30. So catch a touchdown, go down and run and catch kicks. And we tell you about next Saturday. After finally beating Ohio State, Jim Harbaugh and his 5th-ranked Wolverines head into their first ever Big Ten championship. By the way, it's right here in this building, so that'll be fun. Looking to punch their ticket to the playoffs against Iowa, who snuck in there with Wisconsin's loss. Coverage 7 Eastern, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. So a lot happening in Indianapolis. You've got the defending champion Bucks here. Just down the road, the defending champion Bucks in the NBA are playing the Pacers later.
They're at our hotel.
Big Ten championship next week. A lot going on. Good sports here in Indianapolis. Brady to throw it. Looking. Can't find anyone. Pressure hit as he throws, and it's incomplete, and a penalty flag comes out in the secondary. Odangbo came through and I think hit Brady at the end of that. Well, let's see what the flag is.
Holding. Defense number 27. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's on Xavier Rhodes.
You saw all that time that Brady had on that last snap. They've got to find a way with just their front 4 to get some pressure on him. You're going to see Xavier Rhodes on Cameron Brate. Oh no, it kind of, Brate's trying to get an edge. He's trying to make contact to separate. Not sure about that call.
Here is Jones, who gets a chance out of the backfield, sprinting up the middle, and he picks up 11 quick yards. Ronald Jones has kind of been a forgotten man in this offense, but that time hit the hole.
Watch Gronk come here now. He's going to do his version of the wham block that we showed in the package of Indianapolis. See him come down on the nose. Great job digging the safety, and there's your lane.
You've talked about wham so much, I feel like we should play Careless Whisper or something.
Tell you, these teams, you know, Tampa doesn't run it obviously as much as the Colts do, but when they do, they got a good scheme.
Would you prefer Wake Me Up Before We Go Go? Maybe not. Brady going deep, looking for Scotty Miller, and it's intercepted. Isaiah Rodgers basically ran the route for him, and he's got it, his 2nd of the year.
Scotty Miller's running just a tight split. They call it a big box fade. He's going to run it from a condensed split. You see him here outside the hash. Now he's going to get all the way wide. He's got to be outside the numbers, right? That landmark is 4 yards from the sideline. That's exactly where Brady threw the ball. For whatever reason, Scotty Miller jumped inside Isaiah Rodgers. Brady's expecting him to stay outside and fall to that ball towards the boundary. Really good job there by Isaiah Rodgers. Kind of was backpedaling, falling on himself, but came down with a big pick. You can see Brady. He knows that's not exactly what they had in mind.
For as great as Brady has been, that's his 9th interception of the year. That has been a little bit of an issue for this offense. Now, some like last week, not his fault. That's number 9, the Colts' 2nd turnover of the game. It's what they do best.
And think that could be Antonio Brown, right? Once he gets back, that's a guy that they're missing.
Empty backfield here. Get it to Naheem Hines, who's great catching it out of the backfield, and he's got a first down. We have an injury update. Let's go down to Pam.
Yeah, Kevin, I told you about those 3 Bucks injuries earlier in the first quarter. One player, cornerback Jamel Dean, will not return. Dean has been downgraded to out with the shoulder injuries. More adjustments for Todd Bowles.
And they just can't escape the injury bug, Pam. It's been something that's followed them all year. Devin White still not back in the game. Don't know if he will be as well. There's the injury to Dean from earlier. So Minter, 51 plays for White. Again, empty backfield. 4-man rush. Wentz, Doyle wide open, and back-to-back first downs as they go empty for the first time here today.
And it's a really effective play design. You're going to see Pittman on the outside. He's going to run kind of a follow route, and then he's going to run a basic. And once Levante David gets width, there's the hole. Right, and you tell the offensive player, once you find space and once you find a zone, stay open. Don't run out of an empty zone to a covered zone. Really good feel there by Jack Doyle. Carson Wentz is on time, in rhythm. It's an easy pitch and catch.
Pressure coming. Wentz hit as he throws. It's wobbly up in the air. And they get a penalty. There it comes. It's like automatic. If the ball's underthrown, you're going to get a penalty, and Bruce Arians is hot.
Yeah, and I'm an offensive guy, KB, so if I was on that field, I'd be fighting for PI. But as a neutral spectator, I just don't love it, right? You're bailing out the offense for a bad throw. He's got no chance of competing this. He gets hit. That ball's thrown 4 or 5 yards short. I don't love it.
Pass interference. Defense number 42. The ball replaced that sliding foul, automatic first down.
It's honestly kind of becoming an epidemic. You saw it in the Cowboys-Raiders game on Thanksgiving, right? And essentially, that led the Raiders to win the game, and that penalty on Anthony Brown.
It almost feels like if it's man coverage and the defender's back's turned, you almost don't want to throw a good ball. You want to throw it underneath, tell your receiver to come back down to the ball. Just don't love bailing out the offense.
Both running backs in together. That's Hines who goes out as a receiver. Number 21. Wentz gets it out. Pascal, who fumbled earlier, but this just drew that pass interference penalty. Gets just 2 yards. Take a look at Vita Vea here. Oh, he lost a tooth.
And he's smiling. That's the best part. Oh my gosh.
Do they? Does the tooth fairy come for 26-year-olds? I'm just asking.
I don't know.
That is unbelievable.
Man,
that is a defensive lineman right there.
those interior offensive defensive linemen are tough.
Oh my goodness. Here's Taylor. Has room. Jonathan Taylor's first big rush of the day has a first down. Down near the 26 as Taylor runs for 12.
They got a run stunt on here. You're going to see they bring the pressure and they're going to try perfect play call. They're running into the stunt of the D-line, away from where the linebackers blitzed. That's what causes that huge hole. Perfect play call for the perfect defense. And those are the holes that you see.
Taylor again. Good cut up the middle, and Taylor surging his way forward for a 5-yard gain. For Barrett brought him down. It was interesting. Frank Reich told us about all these different run schemes. What they create is force issues. What did he mean by that?
Yeah, so force issues. Anytime someone like Tampa Bay who plays what they call a heavy box, meaning I'm always going to try to have more defenders in the box than you can count. If it's a single back set, I have 7. If it's a 2-back set, I have 8. Pay attention to all the pre-snap motion, the zoom motions, and before the snap. It holds those guys just enough that we can dig them out with receivers. We can hold them, make 4 or 5 guys play 4-7.
Wentz quick throw outside. Finally getting Pittman involved, the number 1 receiver. They've had trouble connecting today, but he's going to be short of a first down and bring up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, so again, to finish our thought before about the force issues, sometimes you can't block them all, right? We talked to Jonathan Taylor. We said, how do you face these heavy boxes and have such success? He says, well, scheme-wise, which is to your earlier point about what Frank Reich said about force issues and controlling them. But I also like to know, where are the unblocked defenders? Because now I can have a game plan for taking them on. It's when you're surprised, a missed block or a missed assignment, and I'm caught off guard. If I know where the unblocked guy is, I can take him on.
Colts go jumbo here. That makes a lot of sense, Greg. On a 3rd and 2. Will they stay with the run? They will. And he is going to be a little short as Minter was there on Taylor, and now we'll see if Frank Reich stays with the offense. Would you go?
I don't even think you hesitate, Kevin. I think you're staying on the field and you're going for it. They're bringing some of the jumbo off, bringing Pittman and Pascal back on. It's a little more of a pass look, but you know Frank Reich, he's got to play for this, right? These play callers and these critical must-have-it downs, 4th down, 3rd, goal-to-go situations, they have a go-to play. Let's see what it is here.
It's a quarterback sneak to Wentz, who surges forward behind that drive from the line. I think Taylor gave him a little push, too, when it moves the chain.
Yeah, so his special play design for that situation was just quarterback sneak. It's like I mentioned.
Watch Taylor at the end. Give him a little shove.
He was close to not getting, but he got a nice push from behind there. That offensive line did a nice job. It's not easy digging those guys out, but give him credit. I think it's the right call. I think you have to match. You have to expect at some point Tampa's offense is going to find their rhythm in the passing game. You can't afford to kick field goals.
On first down, Wentz rolling, looking, firing, caught for the touchdown, Jack Doyle.
All tight ends do in our games, KB, is catch touchdowns. But watch this play design. So he's going to carry, but then he's got to stop because he sees the flat defender. See, that's the high-low that he causes. When Ali Cox comes into the flat, Nelson has no chance but to stop his feet. If Ali Cox doesn't come on that drag route, Nelson can carry Jack Doyle up the seam. That's a really, really good play design.
And so the Colts with a big-time drive, and they've got 14 unanswered on the board. Jack Doyle finding the end zone, third time this year for him, and it's 17-7 Indy. Drive, Carson Wentz 5 for 5 for 45 yards on the drive, and just think he's 10 of 13. He missed his first 3, so he's 10 of his last 10, and that was really pretty down the field they go. Jack Doyle on the touchdown from Wentz, who's got 2 of those today, and all of a sudden the Colts, a couple touchdowns on the board, 14 unanswered, have a 10-point lead here with 5:07 to go in this first half, and a fun game thus far. And after the kickoff, we'll show the brilliance of the play design with Gray. Jalen Darden back to receive inside his own 5 here on a shorter kick, and that's why. Just across the 15 where he is knocked down by Josh Jones. All right, Greg, so why did the play work so well?
So the stress that they're putting on is right here. Anthony Nelson, he's an outside linebacker. He's a rusher. So we clear, we have a wheel, and then Mo Ali Cox's flat route. Take a look at when he sees. So he's going to start carrying 84 Jack Doyle. You see Nelson's eyes are back around. Pittman clears the top. The second Nelson settles, because he sees Mo Ali Cox, ball. That timing and that route design, they can isolate an outside linebacker pass rush type player who's not used to playing in space. High-low him by design. It's really well done.
Bucks have 2 turnovers today, and this time they're going to try to get Godwin going across the 20. Positive game. His first catch, gain of 7. Four-man rush. Brady throws. Gronkowski holds it in for a first down. Odom was there on the hit, but not before Gronk gets up to the 38 and a gain of 15.
Well, in a similar fashion, now the stress is on Okereke. Watch him. So he's going to, the second he takes the drive of Godwin, bang, right over the top. Offensive football, put layers, put single defenders in stressful situations.
Pressure up the middle. Brady sees it, gets rid of it. Johnson's got his first catch of the day, and he's near a first down, probably about a foot short before Leonard brought him down. And there's a penalty marker down as well, and some Bucks are clapping, so let's hear about this one.
Illegal use of the hands, hands to the face, defense number 90. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
It's on Grover Stewart.
You can see him. Anytime you get your hands up and they see that helmet go back, the old rock'em sock'em robot, right? Their heads pop back and their helmets pop off. It's just so easy for the official to see.
This had to move the chains accordingly, which they just did. So after the penalty, it's a 2nd down and 1 for the Bucks. Fournette, first down into Colts territory. He's wrestled down across the 50. Leonard's there again. Shocker, he's everywhere. And there's an injured Colts player on the field right now. And that's DeForest Buckner. He limped off earlier and obviously came back in the game, and now you see holding that right leg. And he is the rock of that defensive line, an all-pro player. And now you just hope that he's okay. Traded over from the 49ers last year, was all-pro in his first year with the Colts. And they tend to him. While we have a moment, why don't we check in with Carissa Thompson?
Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Show, the fellas are in New York for Michael Strahan's jersey retirement, so Mike, Reggie, and I are holding down the fort.
Can we build a fort too?
No.
Can we play Fortnite?
All right, I'm done with you guys. We'll see you at the half.
Carissa, thanks. Big concern here in Indianapolis. DeForest Buckner, one of the leaders of this team, one of the best players on this team. And then when he came to Indianapolis, signed that big deal. This defense has been playing of late.
Nice to see him be able to walk off. Seems like he's kind of shaking that right leg like you referenced earlier.
It doesn't always mean it's great things, right? But you just hope that it is good in this case. Yeah. And we'll cross our fingers for that. So, you know, we talked coming into this game about the Colts run game and, you know, would they be able to impose their will on this #1 run defense of Tampa Bay? Well, what we didn't necessarily know is the Colts passing game has come to life.
Yeah, Carson Wentz, he comes under some fire every now and then. Is he kind of the product of this system, the product of this run game? He's answered a lot of questions, especially here early in the first half. Right now, he's been the star of the show offensively for Indianapolis.
Fournette, gets through the hole inside the 40, and Fournette's got a first down. Picks up 12 down to the 35.
It's really well blocked. Watch Gronkowski get to the second level, kind of dig this guy. He goes inside the defensive end. Watch him now. Just cover him up. Give your back a two-way go. You know, so often everyone thinks they got to kill everybody.
Brady, quick play. Gronkowski wide open, and he's down inside the 10. A quick hitter from Brady to Gronk, and a 1st and goal for Tampa.
Well, that's what makes Gronk Gronk. The previous play, you're talking about a run block at the second level. We've seen him now twice get up that seam. Darius Leonard needs to get more depth, elevate that ball. You see him just shy of touching it.
1st and goal. Brady back, dumps it over the middle. Fournette again, who backs his way inside the 5, down to the 4. Okereke was there first. Tell you what, Leonard Fournette, he was great in the playoffs last year, and he's become the #1 back. And we talk how versatile Jonathan Taylor is. I'm not saying he's been on that level production-wise, but boy, has he been great for the Bucks.
That's right. He's not going to get the volume touches,
but he gets enough touches. Right now, the Bucks have work to do, but they're knocking on the doorstep. 2-minute warning. 17-7, Indy. (17-7) Colts. The great Lenny Moore here. A lot of the greats from this Indianapolis history. Hall of Fame inductee, MVP, and they're inducting Robert Mathis into the Ring of Honor at halftime. Cool day to do it with Bruce Arians and his staff back here. Buccaneers trying to make this a little bit closer. Down by 10, 2 minutes to go in the half. Brady to throw it. Gets it out to Fournette, who walks in for the touchdown. His second one today.
Well, we gave credit to Frank Reich on the last touchdown. Watch this play design. They send in motion. That's the man tell. And then watch the releases here by Bray and Gronkowski. They cause a rub. They know it's man. Okereke has to come from the inside out, and watch the interference. There's one guy who's getting that ball in man, and it's Leonard Fournette, who you talked about right before the 2-minute warning. What he can do, both run and pass. Great play design, Byron Leftwich. Pre-snap tell with Brady. He knows exactly where he's going with the ball.
Extra point is up and good. He's been a factor today. 2 touchdowns, 41 yards rushing, 5 catches, 16 yards. He's been everywhere as the Buccaneers draw to within 3. And now this from. So 1:56 to go in this first half. Good one from Indy. Quarterback comparison. You see the Bucs offense has had a tough time getting going today, but Leonard Fournette has really helped them out. Carson Wentz started the game 0 for 3, but 10 of 10 since. 62-yard touchdown pass from Ashton Doolin, his first in the league, and then he hit Jack Doyle on a beauty for 15 yards. And so we've got a 3-point game. Each team with 3 timeouts left, so a lot of time is left. And the Colts will start on their own 25. Well, Carson Wentz has improved in this game. He's improved overall. Look at last year with Philadelphia. 15 interceptions. He got sacked 1,000,000 times. I mean, 50 sacks in 12 games. An absurd number. This year, he's being protected better. He's getting rid of the ball. He's got the 2nd best touchdown to interception ratio in the league. And his rating is 97.2. What's he done today? He's been on point.
He has. We saw him with the long play action duel in there earlier. He's making the right throws, right? Not every throw needs to be a highlight. Make the right one, convert when you need to. He's answered a lot of questions so far today. He's been carrying this offense.
4-man rush. Coming near his side, T.Y. Hilton has a catch, and he goes out of bounds just before a first down there. And Hilton's first catch of the day.
Yeah, you're always first down will always tell you in a 2-minute drive like this. You mentioned both teams have 3 timeouts. Typically, first down sets the tempo of how aggressive we're going to be, right? You don't want to give Tom Brady the ball back, that's for sure. But you also want to make sure you give your offense a chance to go down and get points before the half. Judging from first down, they're going to be pretty aggressive.
To throw it again, coming near side again, Hilton again. This time first down. Same play, same results.
That's a run play in the huddle. He's got an alert out there if he likes the one-on-one with T.Y. Hilton. If not, that's a handoff to Jonathan Taylor. He didn't like the box count. 2nd and 1, short yardage situation. Just spit it out there for a first down to T.Y. I like that they're being aggressive here. Be careful they don't leave a lot of time, but just be true to who you are.
Again, Jamel Dean out, Devin White out on defense, getting hurt earlier in this game, as Pam told us. So Desir in at quarterback, number 29. Wentz looking that way. Pressure, though, and down he goes. And Ndamukong Suh got home for the sack. And now let's see if the Bucs decide to take a timeout.
Just a typical TE stunt between Ndamukong Suh and JPP. Watch Suh. He takes the edge of Braden Smith. He just splits the right guard and tackle. You can line those 2 guys up. You got Vita Vea, so the center can't come into the mix. It's a hard duo to try to pass off a stunt.
That's the 4th sack of the year for Suh. Bucs did call their first timeout. After that sack, they're thinking, okay, they can get the ball back here. Told you about Devin White. Pam said, you know, remember, he came in with an injury on the quad, but suffered a hip injury earlier, and it doesn't look like he's anywhere close to coming back in the game, which is a big blow. And again, to Dean, their nickel back, who's been starting with all the injuries in the secondary, out too.
You got to imagine here, right? 2nd and 15. Tampa still has 2 timeouts. You're thinking an easy, high percentage completion, make the clock keep running, screen draw. Be careful throwing incomplete here. Put yourself in the spot where you're going to give the ball back.
With a stunt up the middle. Try on Shoyinka coming. Wentz letting it go deep again for Pascal. Incomplete. Boy, Edwards had terrific coverage. And it'll bring him a 3rd and long, and there's that incomplete you talked about.
Yeah, it's great coverage. They tried to go deep again. That time Edwards was in good position. You know, I just curious about the call. You know, 2nd and 15. I understand high percentage throw over the middle. This time they're trying to take it over the top. Not a bad throw, better coverage. But now you find yourself, it's 3rd and 15. You don't make Tampa Bay take another timeout. It was 1:30. Now, 3rd and 15 is not a real high percentage in the NFL. Tampa can call timeout if you fail and still maintain one when they take over possession.
Blitz coming. Wentz scrambles away from pressure. Sue in pursuit. Wentz can pick this up. Racing towards the first down. He's got it. I think. Looks like he does, and he will. Carson Wentz using the legs to pick up 16.
Well, he bailed out the time management, so credit to them. He's going to see a huge void here to the right. Shaq Barrett falls down. Sue just doesn't have enough juice to catch him. Wentz is a great athlete. Wentz's legs just bailed them out of what would have been a tough situation if they got to punt the ball back there to Tampa. A lot of credit to Wentz here. Now you can go aggressive, KB, right? Ball's at midfield. Now we're in a 2-minute mode.
And all 3 timeouts as they'll give it to Hines up the middle, but Levante David meets him. So Jonathan Taylor not in. Hines, they use him in some of the 2 minutes with his pass receiving skills, but it's kind of a little conundrum because Nyheim Hines so good at that, but you're taking your best player off the field too.
Yeah, that's always hard for a coach, but I like that first down call. Right now you're in a race also to get points with the clock. So I like first down. Maybe you pop one. They're playing pass. As you said, I'd like Jonathan Taylor to be on the field.
Blitz coming. Delayed bits. Wentz, it's picked up. Throws completion. Pittman. First down for the Colts. Hines had a great blitz pickup there to make that play.
Hines had a great pickup. Watch him come and just stuff Minter in the A-gap. Bang. That's all it takes, right? Playing running back in the NFL is not always catching the ball and being handed in a critical 2-minute, must-pass situation here at the end of the first half. Hines is in there, and I think now we know why. That was a big pickup to allow that completion to Pittman.
Second catch for Pittman. He's their leading receiver on the year.
Let's go, Pacer!
Pacers are playing a little bit. Carson's right. First and 10. Let's see what this play is. Wentz floating one, going for Ali Cox, incomplete. He had a cornerback in Murphy Bunting who was all over him. Worth a try, but it'll bring up second down.
Yeah, Pacer, what he wanted. We had a similar play in the past. I didn't know how quick the verbiage was, but Indy is a route that was made famous here. With Marvin Harrison and them. He worked backside to Ali Cox. He lost the ball, but on the other side, they were doing the old Indy pump, which is why they call it Pacer, right? It's in that Indianapolis family. Guy couldn't see the ball.
That's possible, right? With the way the sun is coming in there right now. 48 seconds in the half, but all 3 timeouts for the Colts. Wentz pressure, steps away and throws it incomplete. Pittman the intended receiver, but Shaq Barrett had some heat on Wentz in 3rd and long.
Smart play there by Wentz. You can't take a sack, right? You're in field goal range regardless of what happens. Just under a minute to go. At the very least, you got to attempt a field goal with this possession. So smart play by Wentz, just getting the ball out after no one was open. Sets up a big 3rd down here.
They clock at 1. 3rd and 10. Wentz going towards Doyle, who pulls it in. Oh, pretty to the tight end Doyle, who has a touchdown, and now he's got a big hookup and a first down. A gain of 22.
Well, as we go down memory lane, we got 7-7. You're going to get a big 7 by Pascal at the top, and then a shorter 7, meaning a corner route. You're going to high-low Murphy Bunting. If he stays deep on Pascal, the ball goes where you just saw it to Jack Doyle. If Murphy Bunting jumps, he's going to try to throw it over his head to Pascal.
You see both feet, too. 1.
What a catch.
2.
Great play. Good 2-man concept there. Well executed.
Wentz, quick throw. Incomplete. A little low. Pascal tried to pick it up and run before he had it. And it'll bring up 2nd and 10. 36 seconds left, but all 3 timeouts, so really the time doesn't even matter. And a reminder coming up at halftime, Carissa, Michael and Reggie today with the guys in New York for Michael Strahan's number retirement, and we congratulate Michael on that. It's going to be an awesome ceremony in New Jersey. Actually, they just went to half, so that's about to happen. And then he'll fly into space after that.
What a week.
I know Nick Franklin's jealous.
What a week.
It's a busy week. Jersey retired, fly into space. Literally. Here's Wentz throwing it over the middle. Breaking tackles Hines inside the 5. It'll be short of a first down as he broke through the tackle of Minner, but they will use their first timeout with 29 seconds to go. Well, Greg, this is going to be fun. Want to remind you and everyone at home, you can celebrate Christmas with a boom. I mean, I can't do it like him. Fox Sports proudly presents a documentary tribute to one of football's most beloved figures, the coach, broadcaster, the video game. All Madden premieres Christmas Day on Fox.
You know, it's funny. My kids, they asked me the other day when they saw the promo run, they said, he was a coach? Was he a player? I said, they only know him from the video, right? They only know him because Madden rules their life. I said, no. I said, before he was on the game that you play, this guy is a Hall of Fame coach, broadcaster. He's done a lot more than just lend his name to a video game.
Listen, I can't wait to watch that.
Amazing.
Saw some clips. Spoke with Tom Rinaldi about the interview. I'm excited.
Pretty special.
3rd and goal coming up here. Make it a 3rd and 1. Excuse me. They could pick up the first. Wentz, roll, looking, in trouble, throwing, nearly caught. Pass going up to get it. And now, do you have any thought of going for it on 4th and 1? Or do you just take the 3?
Don't put anything past Frank Wright. We've seen him make some pretty courageous calls. They tried to roll out. They thought they had a chance to throw it to Kylan Grayson, number 83, the tight end, quick in the flat on the sprint. Just didn't like it, but hey, you want to beat the defending champ, you got to knock him out.
But they're going to go on 4th and 1 with no Jonathan Taylor. Still, interesting call.
Very interesting.
Maybe they won't go for it.
Quarterback sneak is open. Oh, man.
So they call a timeout, and clearly they were trying to get him off the field. Look, I think it's obvious, you know, Hines with his skill set, they use him in this type of offense, and he's good at it. But fans at home are thinking, wait a second, how is Jonathan Taylor not on the field? Can you explain it?
Well, I think they're listening in on the broadcast because Jonathan Taylor and about 3 other tight ends just went running into the game. They called the timeout there.
Oh, they're going to go.
Not to kick a field goal. They're going for this. I give Frank Reich a lot of credit. I think you got to be aggressive in these situations. You got a chance to make a huge statement to your team going into the half.
9 of 16 on 4th down on the year. 4th and 1. 22 seconds left in the half. They go shotgun here. They're going to roll out Wentz. Looking end zone. Throwing! Caught for the touchdown. T.Y. Hilton.
They went sprint out on 3rd down. Didn't convert. Frank Reich dials it right back in. Little different formation, little different look. And T.Y. Hilton, he's kind of taken over that number 2 role with the ascension of Pittman, but he signed back here. He could have signed with another team. You can always count on guys like him. His coach had a lot of faith coming to him in a critical situation, and he delivers.
Extra point is up and good. It's his first touchdown of the year. He only had 9 catches coming in. He's got 3 here today on that drive, moving it forward and finishing with the score.
You're going to see him. He's right here in the slot. He's just going to leverage this guy. He's not even going to break stride. Watch, he's going to attack his outside shoulder. He's not going to break stride, stick his left foot in the ground and just run and outrace the guy to the pylon. Really well done. So much of route running is leverage and angles and understanding how to gain an advantage in the first 5 yards. T.Y. Hilton, the veteran, knows exactly what to do in that situation, and he wins for his quarterback.
Just don't forget this. It was 3rd and 15 earlier in this drive, right? You're talking about, boy, Tampa Bay, you got to be careful. They've got a lot of time with 3 timeouts. He took off and ran for 16 yards, just got by Ndamukong Suh. And this drive wouldn't have happened without that play.
And that's the difference. If you go down and you score a touchdown with 18 seconds left, Tampa doesn't have a lot of time to do much. As opposed with over 1:30, you punt the ball back to Tom Brady with 2 timeouts. That's the margin. That's the difference in the NFL. Sometimes your best players need to make a play. In that case, Carson Wentz made a play.
And so the Bucs, if they decide to do anything, have 18 seconds left and 2 timeouts. Amazing, right? Wentz on 3rd and 15, scrambles for 16. 4th down, they try to get him to go off sides, and then they call a timeout thinking, okay, they're going to kick a field goal. Frank Reich says, no, we're going to go. They bring on Jonathan Taylor thinking they're going to run it to him. Instead, they sprint out the quarterback.
Out of shotgun.
Touchdown, out of shotgun. It's pretty good.
Frank Reich, I'll tell you, he's a really, really good play caller.
And that'll take us to the half, and a good second quarter. 3 touchdowns in the second quarter for the Colts. They've got a 10-point lead as we head to the break. And the first half stats brought to you by State Farm. There you go, pass yards. That's the surprising number today. The Colts haven't found that space on the ground. They've gone to the air. They've also gotten 2 turnovers. That's the difference in the game so far, and a 10-point lead as we go to break from Indianapolis. 24-14 at the break. Carissa Thompson will take it away with the Verizon halftime when we return. Today's game flow brought to you by Progressive as we get set for this 3rd quarter here from Indianapolis. 24-14 Colts with a lead over the Bucs. And at halftime, a pretty cool ceremony here. Robert Mathis gets inducted into the Colts Ring of Honor there with Jim Irsay, the team owner, and the unveiling of Mathis, who was a terrific player here, terrorizing quarterbacks for many years. It's a packed house, great crowd today. Told you a great weekend of sports here in Indianapolis. And those are the numbers, the most sacks in team history. Oh, hi, we're on camera. You know, I just got the pretzels out of my mouth, so it's just, you know, these things happen fast, Greg. You know what else happens fast? We came on obviously talking about Jonathan Taylor, terrorized the league, 1st in the league in rushing. So what do the Colts do? They throw the ball all over the yard. Yeah, and as expected, right? Everything always gets flipped week in and week out. It was the Tampa offense that we spent a lot of time early saying this passing game is such a threat, and the run game of Indianapolis. While Carson Wentz has come out and played as good a first half as he had all year, if Carson Wentz can continue to play at this level and complement the run game that we've covered pretty deeply so far, this Indianapolis offense is going to be a force. Yeah, Wentz 3 touchdown passes in the first half. This is the first time he's done that since 2017. See the numbers, big time stuff. Brady has the 1 interception through the touchdown to Fournette, who scored twice for Tampa Bay. Colts won the toss initially and deferred, so they also get the ball to start this 3rd quarter. As Isaiah Rodgers back deep to receive. And we go down to Pam Oliver.
Kevin, I asked Frank Reich about his decision, his thought process, going for the touchdown instead of the field goal on 4th and 1. He told me pure and simple, confidence. Confidence in Carson Wentz, confidence in our wide receivers. He also said, though, defensively, we know that they have a guy named Tom Brady over on the other sideline. He's one of the greatest ever, he said, so we've got to stay aggressive as far as that goes. For the Bucs, containing Carson Wentz in the pocket is exactly what Bruce Arians wants to see. He said some of the injuries in the secondary are starting to show up. As for linebacker Devin White's return, very iffy.
Pam, thanks. A lot of info there. And we'll keep an eye on if White comes back in the game. Matter of fact, Colts will start it on offense and try to get it to Hines, and it's incomplete. Matter of fact, White is back in the game. So that's good news. He just tried it back in on the field, and we'll see if he can hold up with those injuries as Pam talked about.
Yeah, you heard Pam reference that Frank Reich told her, you know, it's confidence, it's believing. T.Y. Hilton called him when he was referring to Frank Reich, he said he's the ultimate believer. His players sense that his belief in them, the confidence he has, they feel that. They kind of internalize it, and as a result, they go out and they play so hard for him. They truly love this guy here in Indianapolis.
Jonathan Taylor
touched on it.
Oh, sorry, Greg. Jonathan Taylor, 8 carries, 25 yards in the first half. They're going to throw it again. Pressure from Barrett. Wentz gets rid of it. Pittman's wide open, and he holds it in across the 45, out to the 47. And the pass game continues to work with 22 more yards.
Another really good play design. You're going to see Mo Alley Cox. He's going to take the high corner, and then Pittman's going to slide. We used to call this play platinum or scissor. The inside receiver is going to take the high corner. The outside receiver is going to come underneath. Kind of a scissor concept where they cross their paths, and nice job finding them on time and on rhythm.
Man. Great. Set. 180. Set.
Couple fakes, get it to Taylor. David, wow, came out of nowhere and flattened Jonathan Taylor for a loss.
If Mark Lewinsky can, if he can get out and get David, they got a shot, but it's hard to match this speed. You're going to see 64 Lewinsky. He's going to try to go flat. Levante David sniffs it out. If they get him blocked, there's no one else on that side of the field. But Levante David, Todd Bowles told us he makes this whole defense work.
Longest tenured Buccaneer, his 10th year. Four-man rush. Wentz underneath, incomplete. Pascal had his hands on it, but Sean Murphy-Bunting knocked it away. It's a third drop of the day for Indianapolis. You know, normally, I know, Greg, you talk about run pass, you know, run percentage, all that stuff. You don't really believe in it because each game is a little different. But for the Colts, I think it matters, right? The fact that today, listen, they're looking to throw the football. Look at comparison from last week in the first half alone. And it's working. Third and long. Wentz deals. Pittman's got it for a first down into Bucs territory.
Pittman's just winning his matchup this time. It's man coverage. You're going to see these three triangle on defense are going to match their man. Pierre Desir's playing outside leverage. Pittman feels it, just runs away. Balls again. The ball is on time. I can't stress enough when you're playing these high-level defenses that mix their coverages and mix their looks. If the ball is not out on time, all of a sudden your receivers start running into closed windows. All of a sudden your leverage doesn't quite work as well. People talk a lot about Tom Brady on the other sideline. But right now, Carson Wentz, he's dealing.
By the way, that game, 3 touchdown passes. Told you, last he did it was 2017. That was the game that he got hurt, the ACL against the Rams. And now the Colts call their first timeout as the play clock was winding down. Give us a moment to remind you that coming up on Thursday Night Football, Dak Prescott and the suddenly struggling Cowboys will take on the Saints, who got their clocks clean on Thanksgiving by the Bills. Kicks off 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video. So I'm trying to say this is a big game for both of those teams on Thursday night. Here, 24-14 Colts, opening drive of this third quarter from Indianapolis. Good to have you aboard. Colts offense with their run game prowess. It's been the pass game so far today against this daunting Bucs defense.
You can see Tampa, they are still committed to this 5-up look, even though they've been a pass-first team today.
Get it out in space to Taylor. Has a little head of speed, but Devin White got there and wrapped him up. Gain of 5 could have been a lot more. So it's interesting with Carson Wentz, right? I mean, like, obviously people have talked about his connection to Frank Reich when they were in Philly, and that's why part of the reason why this has made sense. But, you know, speaking to them both this week, Carson said, look, I know coming in, you know, they would take care of the ball, haven't done that enough, but I still have to play fast and loose. That's just the way I have to do it.
Yeah, and to play his style, to your point exactly, he can't start playing scared. He can't start being worried about pushing the ball downfield and just check down and take the easy plays. He needs to find a balance between playing aggressive and being the dynamic player we've seen in the past, but eliminate a lot of the turnovers. That's the balance he's trying to strike.
The fake, a little sidearm zinger, gets it in there to Granson, his first catch today. Kylan Granson, the rookie out of SMU.
It's a little RPO.
I call this a sidearm zinger, right? Zing.
Love that. That's from now on. That's how we're referring to that arm angle. That's perfect.
I mean, it had some zip on it, no?
Really, really good. But again, simple. Easy completions off a little RPO action. If he likes it, he can hand it. If he doesn't, he's got a flat, he's got a stick. Puts that defender in a lot of trouble there.
How about the opening drive? Every play's been a pass. Another one. Pressure from Barrett. Ball is loose. It's out. Still loose, and it's recovered by Barrett. Shaq Barrett, the strip, the sack, and the recovery. His second sack today, and that's a huge one. He knocks it loose. He would eventually pick it up, and the Buccaneers get the turnover. Down 10.
Shaq Barrett, he gets credit here. He gets a great edge rush. But you would love to see Carson Wentz be able to step up. Who makes him unable to step up? Look at the rush Ndamukong Suh gets on right guard Mark Lewinsky. Wentz feels that in his lap. He can't move up in the pocket. That makes it really hard on the offensive tackle when that hoop they got to run around the edge. Wow. Shaq Barrett came through. That five-man front, Kev, presents a real challenge, not only in the run, but it's 5 one-on-one blocks. And Shaq Barrett came through for a win.
You got Vita Vea losing teeth and smiling about it. That five-man defensive line, they stay with it. That time it works. As the run to Fournette, he's got a 3-yard gain. Good news is DeForest Buckner's back in. You saw him just make that tackle. Looked like he could have a serious injury before. So he's back for Indianapolis. There he is. Well, during this 3-game win streak, they haven't turned it over. Today they've turned it over twice, a couple of fumbles. And a chance for the Bucs to make this a lot closer. Brady with some pressure, steps up, wrapped up and sacked, and a flag to boot. Kwity Paye, the rookie, got home as we check on the penalty.
Yeah, they're going to call number 60, guard Nick Verrett. He just tackled Kwity Paye when he came through.
Holding, offense number 60. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is 3rd down.
You can see Brady, he's looking to hit Gronk. Gronk knew he was open. He looked back fast, expecting the ball. That pressure in his face kind of threw him off, and even though they declined it, just tackled the pressure. Kwity Paye.
Kwity Paye has had a sack now in each of the last 3 games, and it brings up a 3rd and 8. And we get a whistle. Now the Bucs call a timeout. So a timeout for Tampa, and now this from Verizon.
This Black Friday, Verizon is doing it better, a lot better, because right now you can get iPhone 13 Pro on us. Just bring in your older damaged phone and we'll give you the phone everybody wants on America's most reliable network. On any unlimited plan. Better, better. And everyone gets up to $800 when they switch. Okay, everyone say better! Better! Black Friday better with Verizon, because everyone deserves better.
Shop online, in-store, or call today.
This is that odd front, KB. You see Leonard here. Got the overload on this side. Looks like they're trying to bring something. You see Brady redirecting the point into that 3-man side.
They come with the blitz. Brady gets rid of it quickly. Gronkowski has a way to go. Lowers his shoulder and gets there. What work by Gronkowski, who had to really push his way forward for that one. He picks up 11 and the drive continues.
And we said it right before the snap. Brady was moving the point. You see, this is the overload they're trying to get you. Brady sees it, We used to call this brick. It's just a planned flat route, block on the outside, and Gronk's got to go take the rest.
Now Brady, 4-man rush, some time, going deep down the field for Scotty Miller, incomplete, and a penalty flag. Rock Yassin was hand fighting with him. Boy, at real speed, it didn't look like too much, but let's see.
Take a look here. He's got a little bit of his jersey.
Defense number 26. The ball will be placed on spot and foul. Automatic. First down.
Wow, that's a big call. Again, there's a lot of hand fighting. The contact goes back and forth. We've seen that routinely called.
The problem is when you grab the jersey, it's an automatic.
Automatic. It's so easy. They see that jersey come away from the body. And that's something they feel like they've worked a lot with Rock Yassin. When the ball's in the air, don't panic. Get your eyes back. Stay in phase with the receiver. Keep your hands off of him. Now, the crowd here doesn't like it, but if they see that jersey get tugged on a ball that seems overthrown, they're going to assume you kind of held the receiver back.
37-yard penalty. Brady now on first down. Over the middle, has a completion down to the 5. It's Brate who brings it home. You know, Scotty Miller was out the last 7 weeks with a turf toe injury and hasn't caught a ball today, but you see the speed of that impact as Brown remains out.
This is a great route here. Looks a little push off. I'm sure the fans here in Indianapolis, but that's a good, clean play. He's using his big body, Cameron Brate does, to separate. It's a really good route. Good short area quickness, getting into the body of the Mike and then separate. Brady's on time.
First and goal, they've got Evans one-on-one, bottom of your screen with Rock Yassin. Brady just going to hand off to Fournette, and not much there. Al-Quadin Muhammad lead the charge, second and goal. Fournette with 2 touchdowns today, 1 rushing, 1 receiving, to account for the Bucs points. Remember, this all started with the strip sack from Shaq Barrett. Colts were driving in on their opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Second and goal from the 4.
Your eyes got to be on Evans and Gronk, right? Those are his 2 guys in the red zone.
Fournette gets through and gets in his 3rd of the day. Touchdown, Tampa.
They show a 3-receiver look, right? They're in gun. Everyone's thinking pass. They just run. They're trying to bring pressure off the edges. Great job here by the right tackle, Tristan Wirfs. Watch. Just mowing it down. Kick out by Donovan Smith on the backside pull. The left tackle. Bruce Arians loves his 2 tackles. And on that play, boy, they both came up with big blocks. That's a huge answer there for Tampa.
And now the extra point is up and true. And so a lot happened. First, Shaq Barrett with a big strip sack, and then he recovered it himself. The big penalty came after that on Rock Yassin. That was an issue that's plagued him in years past. Been better this year, but that one hurt him. Then Fournette, his 3rd score of the day. There's been some game this afternoon. 3-point Colt lead in the 3rd. Well, Bruce Arians back in Indianapolis, is here a couple different times as an offensive coordinator and then interim head coach in 2012. Unfortunately, Chuck Pagano diagnosed with leukemia, so Arians took over, was the coach of the year. And he said, you know, it's really, I hate going against friends. It's so special for him to be back here. He said, look, I wouldn't have been a head coach without the experience here. Great to see Chuck Pagano here for the halftime festivities for his friend Bruce Arians back in town. And Bruce said something interesting, though. He said that year was so crazy. It all happened so fast. Tom Moore, so much success here in Indianapolis at 83 years old on Bruce's staff. Greg, he said without that, everything was thrown at me in such quick fashion, obviously, with Chuck getting sick. I had no choice but to delegate. It really helped me when I became the head coach, because that's what I do now.
And he learned quickly how effective that is, right? Put people in place that you trust, put people in place that are good at their jobs, and get out of the way and manage the team. And he said he's been able to carry that forward the last couple stops as a head coach, and it all started right here in Indianapolis.
See, if you would have said which running back would have a better game, I don't know that people would have said Fournette. It's not that Leonard Fournette is having a nice year, but Taylor has been quiet. Fournette has been great. His first 3 touchdown regular season game of his career. He has done it in the playoffs. Throwing it again. Wentz coming near side, incomplete for Taylor. And so now let me ask you this. Obviously the passing game worked to great length. He was working on that drive to the strip sack. But the bread and butter is the run. Do you care? Do you try and get back to it at some point, or the way it's working with the passing, keep going?
It's pretty clear Frank Reich came in and his scheme was, we're going to pass to set up the run, right? A lot of people think we got to come out and establish the run. Take what the defense is giving you. Let's get them out of these run-heavy boxes. If we can show them that we can push the ball downfield, which they have with Carson Wentz, maybe we can get them to some more run-friendly defensive looks.
Behind one of the best O-lines in the league. Blitz is coming. Picked up Doyle again over the middle. He's had a nice day, and he's got a first down. Doyle had the touchdown earlier. That's his 5th catch today, up over 60 yards.
Jonathan Taylor, nice job here picking up the pressure off the edge. When you pressure, you're one man short. You're one zone short. Jack Doyle does a nice job finding space, being friendly. Wentz finds him. Now that's the thing. If you continue to bring 5, whether it's 5 down linemen or you just bring an extra pressure DB or linebacker, you leave some holes in the back end if you want to play zone. So that's the chess match. See him here. They're back to the 5-man front.
Fake pitch. Wentz pressured up the middle. Tries to get out of the way. Incomplete. Anthony Nelson came right through and blew that play up. Remember, he was the one that got beat on the touchdown earlier to Doyle.
Yeah, it seemed like there was, you can see Nelson here, seemed like there was a mix-up. Ali Cox thought he had Devin White. No one really understood who they had. Just kind of a free hitter right in your quarterback's face. Nice job by Wentz, just kind of saving the play and preventing a sack.
Wentz has thrown the ball 34 times already today. Four-man rush after all that. Oh, what a stick that was. Shawn Murphy bunting. Hilton caught it, but then got flattened.
Similar to the play we saw Brady check to with Gronk, you're going to have your 2 outside receivers just block on, block on. You're going to try to throw a little designed flat route. Murphy bunting saw it, read it, and no chance to block him. And
came loose.
About as the ball
came loose at the end, by the way. Said caught it, but came loose at the end. Shawn Murphy bunting. Boy, did they miss him. He dislocated his elbow week 1. Came back against the Giants last week and was terrific. Now 3rd and 10. Blitz coming right side. Wentz sees it, gets rid of it. He goes back to the tight end. Doyle has got another one. 6 catches, 81 yards for Doyle and a first down. Big connection.
The best way to attack a pressure is to throw right into it. You see they bring 4 to the right side. Wentz sees it. If they're bringing guys from that side, they're going to be running defenders from the backside trying to cover it. Gill does not get there in time. Really good identification pre-snap, knowing where the vulnerabilities are in the defense to have a big 3rd down conversion. Jack Doyle is finding space and getting open. That's the name of the game.
It's his biggest game of the year, Greg, in receptions and yards. Again, 6 for 81. They'll throw it again, send it up near side to Granson, the rookie, who bounced.
When a quarterback sees his #1 receiver matched up on a 50-50 ball against a safety, he's pulling that trigger 100% of the time. You got to give Winfield a lot of credit. He played that ball like he was the #1 receiver. That is a hard catch. Unbelievable job getting his head back, finding it at the top. Winfield just made a better play. That's really what it came down to.
You okay with the hand fighting there?
Depends on what team you're on. I'm fine with it. I'm on the record. You can't bail everybody out, but
here is Jones, and that is going to be first down. So Ronald Jones getting a couple of carries here and gets his way through the pile to move the chains. I mean, he's got a right to the ball. I mean, look, of course, like, if you're a Colts fan, you're not going to like it, but he's got a right to play the ball.
Absolutely.
And all I know is, think about the Colts. They're up 10. They're driving. Potential to go up 17. Shaq Barrett strip sack. And this game is a totally different feel.
Yep, strip sack. They have the PI go against them, which sets up the Fournette touchdown. And all of a sudden now, after the last pick, the game's completely flipped.
Pitch out again. Keep Jones in the game. Give Fournette a breath, and he's running hard. Ronald Jones is going to get inside the 45. He's got 8 more yards, and we've got another game breaker in that game, right? No A.J. Brown, no Julio Jones, no Derrick Henry. Key players up and down the board, but Patriots are rolling. Looking for their 6th straight win. Of course, Colts fans like that result right now. 2nd and 2, Tampa. Four-man rush. It's protected. Brady has Gronkowski, who's got it, and is still fighting inside the 20. Gronkowski so hard to bring down. He ran over George Odom, and a big gainer of 32.
How many times, though, have they schemed him up to be completely open? They're going to bring Cameron Brate down. He's going to run the skinny post. Gronk's going to run the wheel. Just find it right in that honey hole, right behind the corner, right to the outside. And then that big body does the rest, run after catch. We've seen at least 3 times, though, that Gronk is hit. There's not a guy within 10 yards of him.
Don't tight ends know when you call the game? There's just massive tight end action in it. They got 3 tight ends in there right now.
Absolutely.
Pressure on Brady. He's in trouble, and he sacks. DeForest Buckner comes on through to bring him down.
We've mentioned Tampa's on their 3rd left guard, Nick Leverett. See him right here matched up against DeForest Buckner, and he's just going to beat him on an old hop around. He's going to stab, inside arm swim. Then it just becomes a race to the X. You mentioned earlier DeForest Buckner was helped off the field with that knee. He's one of their handful of elite players. On defense, it's really him and Leonard. It's nice for them to have him back, and came up with a huge play when they needed him.
They lost 7 on 2nd down. The fake. Brady looking. Sees Gronkowski open on the left side. Now puts his head down and gets inside the 10. And it makes it a 3rd and manageable. 7th catch for Gronkowski now.
Got to give credit. I mean, we've talked a lot about the scheme and offensively for Indianapolis with Frank Reich, but what a great job. Byron Leftwich has really called a good game. He's starting to feel his rhythm as a play caller. Get a chance to visit with him before the game, and God, was he impressive. The way his mind sees the game, just talking for a little while. He's going to get his chance as a head coach here very soon, I have a feeling.
Third and 8. Brady in trouble over the middle. Incomplete. Cameron Brate wants a flag and gets it. TJ Carey was on the coverage. We'll have to take a look. It was a 3rd and 8.
Cameron Brate's going to run what they call a 7-stop. He's going to try to show like he's running to the corner.
Pass interference. Defense number 38. The foul occurred in the end zone. First down at the 1-yard line.
You know, the idea of that route, right? You're Cameron Brate. The idea is I want to push that defender like I'm going to the back pylon corner, and then I'm going to pull back, right? It's a corner stop. Contact is what you want. You want to force that defender onto his heels, stick your foot in the ground, and show a big surface area for the quarterback. I don't know. It feels to me like that contact by design is initiated by Brate. That's what you want.
That's a tough one. On a 3rd and 8, sets up a 1st and goal. Bucks go jumbo with Ronald Jones in the backfield. And Jones is in. Touchdown, Tampa. And the first time that the Bucks have had the lead since early in the 2nd quarter. Jones puts it in. Again, the turnovers have been the story here in the 3rd quarter. Give
credit to this Tampa offense. They are really starting to find their groove. Talked earlier about Leftwich, the OC, what a job he's done. Run, pass, been very balanced today.
Extra point is up and good. So the unbelievable interception by Antoine Winfield right here. They get maybe a questionable PI call there on that 3rd and 8. And that sets up this, the 1-yard touchdown run to Ronald Jones, and the Bucs back in front, 28-24. Well, again, the turnover started. Antoine Winfield with the interception. They go down the field. Gronkowski has been a monster. 7 catches, 123 yards today. I mean, it's incredible. When you think about the fact that he had 4 cracked ribs and a punctured lung week 3 against the Rams. He came back last week. It's like he hasn't missed a beat.
He tried to come back a few weeks ago, then he had a bad back. He went back on the shelf. Just seems like he's always open.
He doinked it on the kickoff. How about that? I mean, it still starts at the same place in the 25. So I'm fascinated now. The pass game by the Colts is the reason why they were winning in the first half. They were great. It's also the reason why they're losing now in this game. What do?
Yeah, it giveth and then it taketh away, right? That's kind of been the story today. They came out and kind of defied the narrative. They said, we're not going to just run it into a brick wall of this defense. And their pass game has been very successful. Last 2 possessions, though, 2 bad turnovers. Got to give credit to Winfield in the last one, but the turnovers have let Tampa Bay kind of retake control of this game. And if they ever needed a drive, this is one.
They've thrown it 15 times and run it once in this half. They'll throw it again near side, and that is going nowhere. Desir was all over it, even if Pascal caught it.
It's the same play. It's that same RPO style we've said. The outside receiver runs a little sit and a flat by the inside guy. And that time, Tampa did a much better job passing it off. Got to think at some point, you just got to hand one of these off, right? Let Jonathan Taylor just run it up there. Kind of get back to what you do. Get back to what's gotten you here.
Blitz is coming, picked up initially. Wentz now steps up, going to run, and surging forward to about the 30. There's a penalty flag, too. He'll get 5, but this may be a hold and coming back. Or it could be that.
Yeah, I think that ball came out. I thought, judging by their reaction, Wentz recovered it.
Holding. Offense number 64. 2-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Yeah, judging by the way the Tampa Bay players kind of dove on the ground on Wentz, I thought maybe the ball had come loose, and sure enough, returned the favor on the old peanut punch. Royalties on their way.
Instead, it's a penalty going the other way. Mark Lewinsky, the right guard. And by the way, that is not a penalty because Wentz turned into a runner there. If he was standing in the pocket, there would have been a penalty if you're curious at home. Now to throw it, backed up in a hole. Over the middle, and he's got Mo Alley Cox, who comes through with his first catch today, the backup tight end.
Good job there by Carson Wentz. Right, 2nd and long. Get half of it back. That's kind of a rule of thumb. Get half back. Still 3rd and 12, but at least it's somewhat manageable after the holding call on the previous down.
Colts are 4 of 9 on 3rd down today, but this is 3rd and 12, as you mentioned. They might just take it to the end of the 3rd quarter, and they will. So, Buccaneers with a couple of turnovers have found their way back in front after 3. They're up by 4.
I deserve to be with somebody as long this.
So that's what we're looking at as we start the 4th quarter here from Indianapolis. Bucs have come back thanks to turnovers. They've converted them into scores, and they have a 4-point lead as we start this 4th quarter. And the play selection has completely changed. Look at this, 17 passes to 1 run, and you can see the Colts fans would like them to change and get back to Jonathan Taylor on the run. They had a 10-point lead, still didn't get back to Jonathan Taylor, and they stay that way. Now a 3rd and 12. Hard count works, I think, unless there was some movement first, as Jason Pierre-Paul says.
False start. Offense number 84. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Make it even longer. I will say this. Colts are 4 of 9 on 3rd down. Each of those conversions is over 10 yards. So
they got them right where they want them.
Exactly. Have to get to the 35. Three-man rush. Wentz avoids a sack, but another one, and not the 3rd time. Jason Pierre-Paul came in to get him. Barrett was the guy who almost had his 3rd of the day. Sue missed him, but Pierre-Paul got him down.
And Todd Bowles, he's starting to dial up some D-line stunts, some action. You touched on it. About every single defensive lineman who rushed ended up getting their hands. You're going to see one, then Sue, then Pierre-Paul finishes them off. They only rushed 3. All 3 guys hit the quarterback. That's not ideal.
Technically, it's a couple yard run for Wentz, no sack, but still, that was the idea with the pressure. Now a high short kick. Darden's going to take it, and the Bucs will start right around their own 38-yard line. Well, every time Greg Olsen calls a game, tight end does something. Today we've had a bunch of tight ends do something, but none more than Rob Gronkowski.
And he just continues to do it week after week. As long as he's healthy and in the lineup, he's productive. You saw him early with the screen. Here, just finding space on a little check down, getting some run after catch. See him on another screen. Call that an inside bender, crossing the safety. And they can throw it to him short. And we saw obviously the big play a couple series back on the wheel. He can run block. He can block at the D-line level, the secondary level.
Now a big series for the Colts D. Fournette reverses Fields. Odom comes up to stop him after a short gain. That's some help as well. Well, you're talking about receiving yards by a tight end. History of this game. We did Tampa Bay early in the year, Greg, and look, you're still on this prestigious list, but I noticed that your place has changed.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago we did this. I was over here. Now I've spent so much time hanging out with you guys that Gronk and Kelsey passed me by. God, I gotta stop calling so many games.
There you are.
Man, been up here in the booth too long. I got all these guys passing me by.
The shirt and tie looks good on you, though, I think. 2nd and 8. It's Fournette, who is going to get met after another short game, bring up a 3rd down. And look, it's not like you've been broadcasting for 13 years. This is week 12. You know what I mean?
It's been fun, buddy. It's been fun. Especially when we get games like this, you know?
As you can tell, still a very large human being.
You can sense this crowd. They're trying to give their defense something. They've got to kill this momentum Tampa's kind of seized here in the 2nd half, and they got to come up with a stop somehow. Let's see what Matt Eberflus has dialed up on 3rd down. An overload here. Brady's redirecting the point.
4-man rush. 3rd down, incomplete. Brate, the receiver. It was short of him, and the Colts had to have it, and they got it.
Really nice. We said they got a 3-man stunt. Watch the pick game. Down, and the round. That's just enough. Brady wants to step up in the pocket. He wants to move in through his throw. Taylor Stallworth is right in his face on the 3-man pick stunt. Brady doesn't seem thrilled about the receiver's route, but nonetheless, a big stop. Good dial pressure there. Getting off the field.
Finally stopped the momentum, at least momentarily, on a 4th and 6. Good high punt. And Hines lost the football, and Tampa Bay has it! Oh my! Just when you think the momentum will stop, Scotty Miller picks it up. A fair catch, no one was around him, he just dropped it. And the 4th turnover this afternoon for the Colts.
just misplays it. He doesn't get under it enough. He ends up trying to have to go down to 2 knees and catch it down below his waist. It's like an outfielder in baseball, right? We teach our kids, we want to catch the ball above our shoulders. That ball gets down by our feet, bad things happen. Just misjudged it in the air. Critical mistake at this point in the game.
4th turnover for the Bucs. Brady over the middle has Godwin for a completion, and he takes it down to the 10. So a team that leads the NFL in plus minus the Colts, right? Today has been the opposite. They've turned it over 4 times. Already the second time I said Patriots. Already the Bucs have 21 points off those turnovers.
Yeah, but somehow this defense, one of their leaders, Leonard, Buckner, someone needs to rally the troops here and say, all right, our offense, our special teams have put us in some tough spots this half. We have got to hold them to a field goal, keep this a 1-score game. Someone's got to make a play, and they've got to stop it right here.
2nd and short, just going to surge it forward with a Brady sneak, and he's got it. It'll be a 1st and goal.
Brady's a phenomenal quarterback sneaker. I mean, I feel like he gets it every single time. You know, so a lot of coaches are a little hesitant to send their Hall of Fame quarterback up the middle. I think Brady kind of embraces it.
Just when you think the Colts got the momentum, or at least stopped the bleeding a little bit, right? They force a 3 and out, and then they drop the punt, muff the punt, picked up by Scotty Miller, and now the Bucs in the driver's seat with a 1st and goal, up by 4 in this 4th quarter. They will run it. Fournette tries to stretch it out. Not there, though. Pursued well by Indianapolis. And the secondary got over there. Yassine and Moore.
Nice job there by Rock Ya-Sin, stretching that out, keeping his leverage as the widest defender. Leonard Fournette, now he is fast. You see him get around that edge so often. Really nice job there by Rock Ya-Sin, putting an edge to that defense, forcing him to go sideways.
Nervous crowd here in Indy. Second and goal on the fake, firing, end zone incomplete. Evans had his hands on it, but another penalty. Rock Ya-Sin again. And Leonard is saying, well, someone deflected the ball, which you can't call PI on. If it was indeed tipped, he's right. Did he get it? Oh, he's right. Can't call PI on a tip ball. Boy, that's a huge play.
There's no foul on the play as the ball was tipped. The overplay is 3rd down.
So it sets up a monumental 3rd and goal.
Rock Ya-Sin just took a big deep breath. He was not ready for another critical PI in the end zone. But as you said, here we go, 3rd and goal.
Colts are going to run this out, but this is clearly a pass, but got to give credit to keep on running out. Boy, is that 2 big plays in a row. Leonard got the tip, and I think Buckner got the tip there. Back to force a field goal try after that muff on the punt.
Well, he said it. Somebody had to come through. One of their premier players had to come through and make the tip. Stop the bleeding. DeForest Buckner right on cue. Comes up with a critical pass deflection there to force the field goal, which keeps this a 1-score game, assuming he makes it. After the sudden change, what a big stand there by this Colts defense when they needed it.
So the defense does their job. Now Suckup trying to make it a 7-point lead. 25-yarder for him. And it's up and right through. So the Bucs had a field goal, but the Colts D, an outstanding series after the muck deep in their own territory right here. I mean, look where the Bucs took over, but the defense makes a stand. A couple of tip passes. Still a one-score game. The Colts down 7 their ball when we're back. 31-24, Bucs over the Colts. Really fun game. The story in this second half has been turnovers. The other story has been this: the NFL's leading rusher, leading yards from scrimmage, Jonathan Taylor. And I know each week it kind of changes, but Greg, they were up by 10 at the break, and they've kind of forgotten about their MVP candidate.
Yeah, I could understand if early on this game got away from them and Tampa's offense exploded out of the gates, but it's been anything but that. And they found themselves up 10 to start the second half. And their workhorse back, Jonathan Taylor, has had very limited touches, very limited impact on this game. And we brought up the question earlier in the show. We said, do you want to play towards your strengths or do you want to play away from your opponent's strength? And it seems like they came in here and said to themselves, this is a really formidable front. This is a really good rush defense on Tampa's side, and we're going to try to win it through the air and try to get better looks. And they had some success early throwing the ball, and then the turnovers, as you mentioned, have kind of caught up to him.
Well, he does have 4 catches, but only 14 yards. Here's the deal. With all that being said, a Colts team that had turned it over 10 total times, 5th best in the league, by the way. They've turned it over 4 times, yet it's a one-score game here in the 4th. Long way to go. They'll give it to Taylor, who fights his way forward to pick up 5 yards. Well, the story of this half is clearly the turnovers, right? Remember, this was earlier in the day, but this was the key one. The Colts were up 10. They were driving to be up 17. Shaq Barrett, strip sack, fumble, recovered it. And then Antoine Winfield, an unreal interception. That was a gimme moments ago, but the Colts D held only a field goal. Bottom line is 24 Tampa Bay points off turnovers today. That was Taylor's first carry of the half, that last play. 2nd and 5, give it to him again. 2 in a row, up the middle, first down and more. Taylor fighting his way to the 45. And a quick 15-yard run, 2 carries, 20 yards, and the fans respond.
Anytime you're running zone blocking scheme, the critical is the backside. That's the critical component. Watch Mo Alley Cox. He's able to cut off, and that's what distorts the defense, right? Everyone else is going left. Mo Alley Cox puts an edge on the right side against JPP, and that's the cutback lane that the back sees. Somebody always needs to distort the defense, and a lot of times in a zone blocking scheme, it's a backside blocker, and in that case, it was Mo Alley Cox. Really nice job there on the backside.
31 now. No, rhythm.
Give it to him again. And Taylor again has 5 more yards. They didn't touch the ball this entire half, and now 3 carries, 25 yards on this drive.
Yeah, and if you're the Colts, everything has gone wrong this half, right? Tampa Bay is starting to find their rhythm on offense. You've given them some turnovers, some giveaways that are uncharacteristic. But as you said before, you find yourself down 1 score with a lot of time in the 4th quarter, ball at midfield. Just be you. Do what's gotten you here. Do what your identity tells you are. They're lucky this is even as close as it is.
Second down, throw it. Hines has a block. Hines into Bucs territory and a first down. 8 more yards for Hines, and the Colts have a little something going on this drive.
We've seen him do this a few times with both Hines and Taylor in the backfield. You see him bring him, he's going to set, then he's going to send him in motion, and he's just trying to get a picture of the defense. If they distort and they go out wide with Hines, he can hand that ball off to Jonathan Taylor. In that case, nobody really moved on the defensive side. Swing that ball out. It's just a math equation. If they have a lot of guys in the box, we throw the swing. If they adjust out with the motion, we hand the ball off and run at them.
Bucs look like they're going back to 5 defensive linemen. They did that a lot earlier in the game. They stay with that. They give it to Taylor anyway, who has room. Jonathan Taylor is starting to pick up momentum. And he should have another first down.
Really nice job setting the edge there by Jack Doyle. When you can get Jonathan Taylor, his shoulders downhill, running at people with clear lanes, those secondary defenders do not want to come up and take him on. He is a big, strong guy. He can keep his shoulders downhill and go. He is a load for some of those smaller defensive backs and back secondary guys to come up and run support.
He's got more yards on this drive than he had the entire game. Give it to him again. Up the middle, still a step. Taylor into the clear and inside the 20 and another first down.
There's nothing fancy about this. We had the cut up before of kickouts and whams. They're just going to set double teams, and they're just going to run at this. Call this the old Steeler zone. You saw Le'Veon Bell for so long and his little hitch steps and delays. That's just a downhill, right at him, physical downhill run game.
I'd like to welcome those of you who saw the Falcons knock off the Jaguars today here in Indianapolis, along with Pam Oliver, Greg Olson. I'm Kevin Burkhardt, Pete Macheska, our producer, Artie Kempner, our director. It's been a really good game. Turnovers the story, especially in this second half. 3 touchdowns for Fournette. Tampa Bay D has forced 4 turnovers, yet the Colts are driving only down 7. They listened to the half, right? We brought it up, and it's working. Taylor has been quiet most of the day.
Look
awake on this drive.
There now, Kev. Look how many guys they got up there now.
They don't care. They're going to run it anyway. And time the Bucs are ready for it in a short game. And still chugging forward. They blew the whistle, though. So it's going to be a short game. Like to welcome those of you who saw the Dolphins beat the Panthers 33-10. Dolphins are red hot. They're kind of back in the playoff mix. Amazing after their start. And the Panthers stubbed their toe now. 2 weeks of Cam Newton at the controls. Here, it's been a pretty good game. Back and forth, 4 turnovers for the Bucs. Colts down 7, but on the move. Jonathan Taylor's been quiet really the entire day until this drive, where they give it to him again. Good cut, Taylor. And another inside the 15. And it'll bring him a 3rd down and a short 5. Carson Wentz had 3 touchdown passes in the first half. They were driving to take a 17-point lead on the opener of the 3rd quarter, but Shaq Barrett had a strip sack. They recovered, and really the momentum swung to Tampa Bay, and it's been there the entire half.
They have, and a score here would go a long way. But if you're on Tampa right now, you're on the other side of the ball. You've had everything go your way this half, right? Your defense has come up with some big turnovers, forced takeaways. And just like Indianapolis on the last possession, you've got to find a way to make a stand here. Considering how this down goes, this could be 4-down territory.
3rd and 6. Wentz looking far side. Has a completion and the catch for a first down. It is Hilton. 1st and goal, Indianapolis.
That's now twice where they've needed a play, a critical down. We saw it in the first half on the 4th down touchdown. Watch the job this slot Pascal does. By running to the outside, it prevents the nickel Ross Cockrell from being able to buzz underneath that hook route. That's understanding the scheme, understanding how your job and your release can help your buddy get open. Pascal running through the outside shoulder gives T.Y. Hilton an uncontested hitch there to keep this drive alive.
Hilton had 9 catches all year. He's got 4 today and a touchdown. Taylor up the gut and touchdown Indianapolis.
Well, they've recaptured their identity, KB. We've talked about it all day. When they needed it the most, they went back to Old Faithful. Jonathan Taylor, this offensive line, just running right at him. What a great look at Mo Alley Cox. Mark Lewinsky, the right guard.
Well, 58 yards on the drive by Taylor alone in the touchdown. We asked, hey, are you going to remember that Jonathan Taylor is here? Oh, they remembered, and he delivered, and we are tied from Indy. The Colts had used the passing game to take a 10-point lead in the first half. It has failed them with the turnovers. So they go back to Jonathan Taylor on the run game, and they run it right down Tampa's throat on that drive to tie it up. And we got some fun. 3:29 to go, all tied from Indy and Taylor. 58 yards on that drive. He had 25 yards the entire game prior. So you got a tie game. You got Tom Brady with the football here in Indy. What else could you ask for? So we asked, are you going to go back to the guy that got you here? The answer is yes.
Well, they went back to him. They went back to him in a big way. They didn't care what the front was, heavy box, light box. Frank Wright said, that's it. We're turning around and we're handing it off to Jonathan Taylor. And boy, did it come at the right time. Tampa tried to throw in some different looks, some five-man looks, some heavy, but it didn't matter. Give credit to that offensive line of Indianapolis. And as you said, we got Tom Brady with the ball in tie game. This is as good as it gets.
Back to throw near side. There is Evans, who's had a quiet day, makes the catch. And Evans going to pick up 3 on first down. Just his third catch today for 16 yards. Gronkowski's had the big day for the Bucs, 7 for 123. Fournette's had a bigger day, 3 total touchdowns. Now it's Brady against the Colts. The team he's played 19 times and beaten 15.
Yeah, those words have been spoken quite a few times around here in Indianapolis.
Quick throw, Godwin out across the 35 for a first down and a conversion for the Bucs. We got a game break. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. You guys have a great game there, and another good one coming up. It's America's Game of the Week. Matthew Stafford, 4-1 on the road this season, looking to get his team back on track. And this guy also coming off a loss. Never lost back-to-back games under Matt LaFleur. It's all next.
Big one next. Look forward to that. 2:41 to go here. Each team 2 timeouts. Tie game. And movement. Colts say it was on Tampa Bay.
Ball start. Offense number 60. 5-yard penalty.
Remember, he's the 3rd left guard playing. Ali Marpet didn't start, out with an oblique injury. Aaron Stinney got hurt in the first quarter, and so Leverett, it's on him, and this place is rocking right now.
Yeah, crowd's rocking. You know you're in a pass situation. Going against this front, DeForest Buckner, that weight gets a little back on your heels. You start trying to anticipate the count. Just leave a little too early. Showing the double A gap mug.
First and long, give it to Fournette, gets out of trouble. Fournette with a big run and chugging his way across the 40. Oh, Fournette picked up 10.5 yards. Looked like he was going to be stopped for a loss.
Yeah, they just guess wrong. This is a pass stunt. You're going to see Darius Leonard. He's going to drop. Really good call here. They're going to run a draw inside handoff against that pass rush oriented double A pressure with Leonard bailing out. Just caught him in the right look.
And looks like Brady's going to take it down to the 2-minute warning. He will. Drama here in Indianapolis. Tie game. Brady and Bucs with the ball on the move. Two minutes left. Tie game. 2nd and 4. Each team with 2 timeouts. Tom Brady, we know he does this for a living. Then you wonder about their field goal kicker, Ryan Suckup. Normally not a big leg from deep. He's very consistent within 45 and in. His long this year is 48. So you figure you have to get down near the 30-32 for almost a gimme for him. Blitz coming. Picked up. Brady near side. It is caught by Brady, who's got a first down.
My favorite route in the book, KB, single side tight end, 1 by 3 we used to call it. The 3 receivers are to one side, the tight end's by himself. Just a leverage 7, run at the outside half, break to the outside, ball's on time, you can't stop it.
There is Ryan Suckup getting ready, 13-year veteran. Will he get the chance? Another first down for Tom Brady and the Bucks. 4-man rush this time. Brady just gets it off to Fernandez, wide open, has a first down and more, and bulls his way inside the 40. He got around Okereke and another first down, and now everything a factor. Time, they're almost in field goal range too.
Yeah, now gamesmanship comes in, right? Who uses their timeouts when? When does Frank Reich consider starting to use his timeouts? He's only got 2 remaining on the defensive side. You know, it's right now that they're really close to field goal range. Need another conversion or 2 here. Getting time now where both coaches need to manage this clock and manage this situation.
Fournette, they're going to run it, and Fournette's got a big hole, and now they are in field goal range. 8 yards for Fournette on the ground.
We've seen this a bunch. They're going to show a 4 down, and then watch. They're going to shift and bring him up, create a 5-man. They call this solid. All 3 interior linemen are covered. Pull the backside guard, get up on him. Well executed. They had some success with some of that D-line pre-snap shifts and stems. It's a whole different animal now playing Tom Brady in this Tampa Bay. They got a lot of seasoned vets over there that have seen it all. They handled that change in front real well.
Brock with a great block on Kwity Paye there too, and so it comes down to this. Colts use the timeout. They've got 1 left. This is still a long field goal for Suckup. It's a borderline. Again, he's almost automatic short, but clearly if the Bucks get a first down here, they can salt it away and essentially win the game. 2nd and 2. They're going to give it to Godwin on a sweep, and he is going to surge forward and get the first down. Byron Leftwich pulls one out of his bag.
We're not going to block the end. We've got numbers. We're saying we're going to outrace Leonard. Leonard sees it. He just can't get there. We're not going to block the end. We're not going to block the inside linebacker. We're going to block the 2 widest defenders. Leftwich did a great job. Really good play design. Every coach, we said earlier, they gotta have it plays. Byron Leftwich. This has got to have it play.
Dumbo formation. They were running at a big hole. Who needs a field goal? Fournette goes for the end zone, and he's in! Touchdown, Tampa Bay! His 4th of the day.
Fournette has been the story of Tampa. Their offense today has gone through him. You mentioned it, 4 touchdowns. None bigger than that one.
A 28-yarder that puts him at 100 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns rushing, 1 receiving with 7 catches and 31 yards. A week after Jonathan Taylor had 5 touchdowns, his counterpart today, Fournette, has 4, and only 20 seconds left in the game. What a drive.
Byron Leftwich is just dialing up one of his run plays, thinking we got to just continue to get closer to field goal range. Fournette just pops it. You see the jumbo tight end, Gronk sealing. Wow, just a really well executed play. Alex Kappa, the right guard, pulling around to the edge. Fournette does the rest.
What a day for Leonard Fournette, and what a drive by the Bucks. 8 plays, 75 yards, 309. They needed a field goal to essentially win it. They score a touchdown, and now the Colts need a miracle with 20 seconds to go and 1 timeout. That's some game.
Wow.
And the Colts, they had 8 straight losses against playoff teams, right? They finally got their signature win last week. and they crush Buffalo. They've gone toe-to-toe with the defending champs today, but unfortunately, usual, when Tom Brady has the ball last, it's tough.
Tom Brady finds himself in that position. There's very few times he doesn't come through. But you mentioned it. It's really been the turnovers, especially here in the second half. The muffed punt return, the strip sack, the deep pick that he threw. It's very hard to win, even at home, against a team at this caliber when you turn the ball over 4 times.
And they're going to run this one on out with Rodgers on the left side. Rodgers, look at this! One man to beat! Isaiah Rodgers, can he get there? Oh my goodness! What a return! And 10 seconds left. He gives the Colts a chance.
Wow. And he almost made Edwards miss. Edwards got his left hand on him. Takes this out from 5 yards deep. Sets it up to the right. Called a counter return. Wow.
71 yards, Greg.
Tries to cut back. Look at Edwards. Just gets enough of him with his left hand. In real time, it looked like maybe he grabbed his face mask. He clearly didn't. Wow.
Well, you got 1 timeout. You got 10 seconds.
So you can work the entire field, right? You don't have to throw the ball to the boundary. You can work the entire field. You've got to get it inside the 20. If you can get a completion, you're telling your guy in the huddle right now, whoever catches it, they call this mandatory get down. Catch it, no more yards. Get down, timeout. You can't afford run after the catch. You can't afford any of that eating out the clock.
Three-man rush. Wentz has to get rid of it, gets rid of it. Almost intercepted. Levante David was all over Jack Doyle. And now you've got time probably for one last play.
Yeah, you got time for one more. I understand working the boundary, but that's where the defense is going to favor. The space is in the middle of the field. You still had a timeout, but nonetheless, they got themselves one, you'd imagine, one Hail Mary style play, granted only from the 32. I don't think they have enough time for anything shorter without the clock running out.
So here we go. 5 seconds left. 1 timeout. Realistically, it's probably the last play. Todd Bowles sends 3 back to the goal line. Mike Evans is one of them. You're sending some hands back there. Actually, it's Winfield, not Evans. Excuse me. Flipping the 13 and the 1-3. Wow. Well, I mean, we know that Frank Reich is a great play caller, but I mean, how much do you really have for a situation like this?
You know, you're close enough that, of course, it's in your quarterback's reach. Where it gets a little dicey is out by midfield. Can you reach the end zone? You can clearly reach the end zone. Your most high probability is throw it up. Can Pittman go up and compete for a ball, come down? Maybe you get a deflection. You know, I think you got to get this ball in the end zone. So if you're Tampa, do you keep everyone back and only rush 3? That allows the quarterback to buy a lot of time, Interesting to see how both teams handle this.
Well, right now, looks like they have 3 rushers in. And again, this should be the last play of this game. At least, unless the Colts could tie it. And you never know, right? Pass interference, who knows? Let's find out. Wentz. 3-man rush, still pressured, rolls out, stands in, airing it out, going deep towards the end zone. It's intercepted. Pierre Desir, game over.
That's what they tried. They tried to get the one-on-one backside. Wentz kind of floated to his right and then tried to throw back. Pierre Desir had great position. Didn't quite have enough on the ball, but what a game. What a finish.
He tried to give his best playmaker a chance. A little bit underthrown. Ends up being the 5th turnover by the Bucs defense. And a thrilling game here in Indianapolis, where Tampa Bay holds on for a 7-point win. Another last-second drive by Tom Brady for our entire NFL on Fox crew. Thanks for watching. Bucs a thrilling win. To New York we go with Kurt Menefee. Kurt, take it away.